Okay, looking okay so far. Twitch seems okay.
Oh my God, seriously. You guys, seriously. I have so many technical troubles today. If you're here, thank you for being here. Let me hop Thomas in and we can talk for a minute while I click buttons.
Hi, Waldo.
Thomas, how you doing? KBP, hi. Thanks for finding the stream, KBP. You there, Thomas?
I am here.
Okay. So many problems tonight. Man, damn. You ever sit down at the computer and then you right click on the thing and then
F's in the chat.
nothing happens. Just nothing. You know you right clicked on it and you're like, okay, how, how long do I wait before I start pressing buttons? And then it doesn't do anything, and then you get nervous, and then you right click it again, and it still doesn't do anything, and you're like, okay, well, this is going to be one of those days. This is.
Usually what I do when that happens is
Mhm.
I turn my computer off and I turn it back on.
Okay, that takes like
F.
12 minutes. F's in chat for fun, because that's what the F stands for. F's in chat for fun. Let
It takes
me.
your computer 12 minutes to boot?
Something like that, yeah, probably.
Bro.
It's an old piece of shit. It's old.
I
It's
usually
slow.
just delete System 32 when that
See,
happens.
Popog's
That's
a
worse than the
IT specific.
organization I work for,
Um,
and those are old computers.
I might be exaggerating, but I have told you a million times, Thomas, I never exaggerate.
Ah, yes.
So there is the thing, there's the
See, I
other
wouldn't know
thing.
because, as a responsible capitalist that I am,
Right.
I have a very high-end gaming PC
Ah, I
that I
see.
built myself.
Oh, okay. Well, I built this one too. It's just that I
I do
haven't
have 10
gotten any
years
new
of IT
parts.
experience, so you are legally obligated to believe my advice.
I'll get right on it after the stream, Popog. We're gonna delete our System 32 folder. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun.
Hold on
Where
a
is
second.
the
You're
thing?
supposed to cut that System 32 folder and put it on a flash drive
Mm-hmm.
so you can put it on your Xbox One to make it backwards compatible.
See, now we're getting
Why
into the
would you delete
complicated
that
stuff.
folder?
We're getting complicated now, but that does sound like a good time. I do need my Xbox 360 to be backward compatible. There is one back there. What is the kid playing? I don't even know what that is. Hey kid, what game is that? Okay, PSO2. All right, he's playing Phantasy Star back there. So that's fun. What am I doing? I'm getting chats up and running so that I can see them on the
At
screens.
Popog42 is also self-employed. He's also a CEO and CFO.
Yeah, Popog's a
If
lot
you
of
mail in
things
the
and a
flash
lawyer.
drive to Microsoft, Bill Gates will fix the flash drive for you.
Does he? That's amazing. I didn't know Bill Gates was such a nice, cool guy. All right, so let me think. What am I looking at? YouTube is so bad right now. I don't. Okay, I'm looking at the Twitch, and the Twitch looks good. Looking at the kick looks okay, and YouTube is still okay. No, that's just because it's not up to live. I don't know. How did I get 10 minutes back on my own YouTube stream? All right, YouTube looks okay too. All right, there's a lot going on, and all the prep work that I usually do in that 15 minutes just had to be done 3 times. So we're way behind schedule, and I am just doing such a bang up job tonight. I hope I have new watchers that get to see me fail. Okay, I think everything's ready. I'm gonna.
YouTube do YouTube, it's trying its best.
Yeah, YouTube is trying its best. The YouTube is also always the step kid in this situation, you know. Um, all
Bless
right.
YouTube's heart.
How's your day, Thomas?
Pretty good. I went to work. I came home. I took a nap. And then I've been playing this game,
Hmm.
and it's pretty fun.
Okay.
It's not for everybody. It's called Football Manager,
Oh,
and
American or European football?
European.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But yeah, you sort of like you're a general manager of a soccer team, basically.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's a good time. You kind of build your team up, you do all the things, and then you're also the coach and whatnot.
Mhm.
And uh, there's matches, and your players play the matches, and like you sub them out, and I don't know, it's fun.
I could see how that would be appreciated by people.
It's
I
sort of
could
like a
see.
tycoon game, but like way more in depth.
Wow, disgusting.
Yeah.
Thomas supporting European sports is what Hitler would have wanted.
Oh no, Popog's against you. He's
Oh
not on
no.
he's not on board for the
Would would
for
it
the footy ball, the soccer,
does it make
the
it better that
soccer.
I'm actually I'm running an American team from my
Ooh,
hometown that I've just had rise through the ranks.
there you go. See, you've gone entirely hometown team. I love that. That's
Yep,
perfect. So nobody can give you any grief or call you a European. Uh,
exactly.
um, but I would guess that the American team does hire all the best players in the world from no matter where they're from. Uh, I think that's a
Yes,
thing.
crush those inferior Europeans.
Oh,
Yes.
right, yeah. Anti-European chat. Hooray. Okay. Well, I think everything is there. Everything is ready. I have all the things in the right places. I have all the windows on my screen. I have my Discord up so I can see it down there as well. So if you post anything into the Discord, I will see it. And how are the volumes? Anybody let us know if I'm too loud, if Thomas is too loud, too quiet, or Canooch is too loud. But I think I got it right at the moment. But tonight is all about tech fails, so uh, I expect to have a few more. Okay. Did any news happen today? I didn't send you any links to
That
anything
is correct.
because I'm bad at my job,
The
and I've been
volumes are fine, the lag spikes are suboptimal.
the lag spikes are suboptimal. Yeah, that, that's I don't think it's me. I think it's the internet at the moment because it's all websites that are acting crazy. My computer was acting crazy, but it was trying to reach the internet. I think I'm blaming Firefox and the internet. So I did not send Thomas any of these things ahead of time. So he is going to be reading them and reacting to them blind. Won't that be fun, everybody? He doesn't know the traps that I've laid for him. Um, so usually I send him the links ahead of time so he can read them and look at them, and we can have feelings. But now, because I am so far behind and such a terrible person today, I'm just going to throw it at him completely blind. Uh, and we're going to start. Where should we start? Where do we want to start? Uh, let's just turn on the webcam screen and do the turn off the game cap, turn on the window cap, and click the window cap button, and then we go down here, and then we do that, and then you get to see the news. Oh no, the news. Um, this is probably not a big deal. I don't think it is, but the $175 million bond from Donald Trump has some paperwork issues and got returned, and they said, no, you didn't quite do it right. I think it's
It's
just a
just normal.
paperwork thing. Yeah, it's probably normal. Seems like a
Next.
normal
Not
thing.
interesting. Next.
Okay. Okay, not interesting next. Uh, it just got returned. Well, if it just gets returned and nothing happens, that's fine. If he gets an extra two
It's return for
weeks,
corrections. So
return for
return, then
corrections,
corrections, then
and because of
suspended.
that, we're gonna have to give him a couple more weeks, to come up with it. Well, he misspelled a couple of words, forgot a few I's, forgot to dot the I's, cross the T's. So uh, we're gonna have to give him a couple weeks.
Clerical errors suck at libcucks.
And then I know, and then after a couple more weeks, he'll forget to dot all the lowercase j's, and then we'll have to give him a couple more weeks after that. That's what I'm worried about. But at the moment, it's fine. Tiny clerical error, not a problem. Moving on to the next story. What else we got? Um, I just saw this and it made me laugh. Uh, Tucker calls, is the Speaker of, yeah, I'll try and do it in his voice. He asks questions. Is the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, being blackmailed to do the bidding of the left? Certainly seems that way, his colleague Marjorie Taylor Greene explains. I just thought that was fun. I just saw that and it made me smile. If we could just buy Republicans, shouldn't we? We could gather together all of our Soros bucks and then just give it to Mike Johnson and he'll do what we want. Like, I think we should. Morally, I think we'd be right to do so.
I thought this was the prevailing theory of the populist movement in the first place. The bucks buy the politicians, and that's why we need to get money out of politics. Right?
Yeah, but and
why are you making fun of it?
I'm making fun of it because he's full of shit. He's complaining about it while doing it at the same time. If anything, he would support the idea of paying politicians, yet he's unhappy when his guy on the right, Mike Johnson, does a normal thing. Mike Johnson is in trouble with Maytag and Tucker for doing normal things. And instead of saying, hey, he's probably normal and doing normal things, they concoct a conspiracy to which someone's paying him. If there was some sort of evidence to say, hey, yeah, he's on the hook for this kind of money or something like that, or someone's paying him to do a thing, that is a bad thing. But if we could get good things by doing that, wouldn't it be nice? I know it sounds stupid, but like if we could just pay Republicans to not be Republican, I might be on board for it.
I mean, I guess that's a matter of perspective.
I know I've gone horseshoe theory. I know
I could go ahead and just pay Democrats to do what I wanted them to.
God no, they have principles. They refuse. They're Democrats. They don't want to make money. They're Democrats. They don't want money.
I'm sure Nancy Pelosi is probably going to do what I want her to do. If
I
give her
know.
a nice expensive bottle of champagne.
I know. So, yeah, she does. She's a bad one. So what do? We have to pay off all of the aristocracy so that they will.
Actually, realistically, the people that we need to pay off are actually the interns that write the laws, and we got to pay those people off so that they'll write things into the laws that we want.
Mm-hmm.
And because people like Nancy, they have to pass the laws to find out what's in them.
Right. She doesn't know what's in it until it passes. That makes sense. So that's why she said
so it's the interns that write it.
Yeah.
We got to pay off.
Yeah, that makes sense. So she has to pass the laws to find out what's in them because the interns. And they're probably cheaper. They're not TV people.
Oh, much cheaper. I mean, are those interns even paid?
Well, I would suspect that if you're working for them, you're getting some kind of kickback, some sort of benefit. I don't think people work on Capitol Hill for free. Maybe it's at worst it's a college credit or something like that, where you're getting your name tossed around by all these important people who know you. I don't know. That sounds like shit too. And we should pay them. Okay. All right. Well, I'll see about gathering all of my Soros bucks together, and I will take them and try to buy Mike Johnson, and I'll let you know how it goes. See if we can afford him.
You got to buy Mike Johnson's interns.
His interns.
That's
okay.
We'll buy the plan.
Okay.
Actually, it's now my plan. I just came up with
your
it.
Plan.
And, copyright, do not steal.
Do not steal from Promise's plan to buy the interns. Stop buying senators. Buy The interns. Okay. By the people who write the bills. Okay. So we've got a plan there. Let's see if we've got any actual news things happening. Trump media saved in 2022 by Russian American under criminal investigation. Oh no. Uh, I know Russia, Russia, Russia. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. But like, his company got a shitload of money from a Russian. Trump's social media company went public, relying partly on loans from a trust managed by a person of interest to prosecutors. I think this is all the beginning stuff. Social media company managed to go public. This is how much he's going to gain. Did not make it to the merger after regulators opened a securities investigation of the merger in 21 and caused the company to burn through cash at an extraordinary rate as it waited to get the green light for its stock market debut. This situation led Trump Media to take emergency loans, including from an entity called ES Family Trust, which opened an account with Paxum Bank, a small bank registered in the Caribbean islands of Dominica that is best known for providing financial services to the porn industry. Through leaked documents, The Guardian has learned that the ES Family Trust operated like a shell company for a Russian-American businessman named Anton Postelnikov, who owns Paxum Bank and has been a subject of years-long joint federal criminal investigations by the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security into the Trump media merger. So they think that this guy has ties to Russia because he does. The existence of the trust was previously been reported by The Guardian and The Washington Post. However, who controlled the account, how the trust was connected to Paxum Bank, and how the money had been funneled through the trust to Trump media was unknown. The new details, I think there's something down here. Okay, here we go. Postelnikov, the nephew of Alexander Smirnov and ally of the Russian President Vladimir Putin, has not been charged with a
The
crime.
guy that invented Smirnoff Ice?
Right. So he's definitely
Yes.
Russian.
Oh, man.
Alexander Smirnov, heir to the Smirnoff Ice fortune, is so there's another link to Russia, but is it important or valuable or dangerous?
Well, I'm not really sure what to think about this. Postelnikov is obviously a very Russian name, especially with that "ov" at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
When they say Russian American, are we talking about a person who has dual citizenship?
Let's keep reading.
Or are we talking
Maybe it'll
about
tell
like,
us.
well, so are we talking about a dual citizenship person, or are we talking about someone who has family originating in Russia and then was born in America? Like, so for example, we call a whole lot of people African American.
Mm-hmm. Who've never been to Africa.
They've never been to Africa. Their
Mm-hmm.
parents were never in Africa, but we call them African American. So is that what's happening here with Russian American, or is this a dual citizenship thing?
I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm reading a little bit more there. Sorry, I got to turn the lights on. It's getting dark. Stupid sun went down. Uh, eh, it might be. We need to know more about that guy. Let's see if we can find anything else about him. He's moving a
I'm not
bunch of
sure
money
that that's going to be
around.
there.
Aside from the money, which is there. Last month, federal prosecutors Charles Michael Shartvam, a close associate of Postelnikov, with money laundering in a superseding indictment that previously charged him and two others in July with insider trading. Schwartzman and his co-defendants pled not guilty. It might just be dodgy businessmen. You know how dodgy them businessmans are. So it may still be a little bit too early to say that it's good or bad or anything or nothing, but there is a little bit of a Russian connection there.
Yes, the man's last name is Russian in nature, therefore.
He's got a connection to a small, slight connection to Vladimir Putin, and I've if we're thinking that this is a meme stock, if this is a way to launder money, to just give it to Donald Trump, this is the kind of thing that you should be looking for.
Uh, uh, Hold on. Meme stocks and money laundering schemes are two different things.
Sure, but
Um,
I think that the meme stock for sure does Truth Social at the moment fall under meme stock.
yeah, and I think Dwack already did too. So
Okay, so those are meme stocks, but they're not money
yeah,
laundering.
no.
But
The
what
same way that
if?
GameStop was a meme stock for a long time, and it still is actually. But GameStop is not money laundering.
No, okay, I don't think GameStop was money laundering. But what if I'm Vladimir Putin and I have billions of dollars and I want to give it to Donald Trump? Can I not just buy a bunch of those stocks the day before Donald Trump sells them? What happens?
That would be called insider trading.
Right, which is what some of Smartov's friends are being charged of, and that's what two of the people that Trump is suing that are part of the uh, that company already are
Whoa,
being.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Where
Trump
in that
is
article did it say that
okay.
they were being charged of insider trading?
Oh, it's let's see. Svartman was. Last month, federal prosecutors charged Michael Svartman, a close associate of Paul Postelnikov, with money laundering in a superseding indictment, a different indictment, that previously charged him and two others in July with insider trading digital world
Ooh,
shares.
they did insider trade. Okay.
Schwartzman
Or
and
at least
his
they were
co-defendants, yeah.
charged with it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't see that part.
Sorry. Yeah.
Um,
If I had sent this to you ahead of time, you might have.
I might have, yes. So insider trading is kind of a big deal.
Right.
That is a much different crime, though, from
Mm-hmm.
being a what representative or aspiring representative and collaborating with foreign nations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that insider trading thing is interesting, though. Are you familiar with Martin Shkreli?
Yeah, I've heard that name before.
Yeah, so he took over a company that was responsible for a drug called Daraprim,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a, if I recall, it is a,
It was the nice
oh
insulin, yeah?
man, yeah.
Insulin.
It's basically insulin.
Mm-hmm. But it was easier to
And
take, it seems.
he bought the company,
Mm-hmm.
and then he had all his friends buy the shares, and he jacked the price of Daraprim way up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he and a bunch of his friends went straight to jail as a result because he
Mm-hmm.
was clearly insider trading there.
Okay. Well,
And
we all know exactly when Donald Trump is allowed to sell his stocks in that Truth Social. We know exactly what day he's allowed to sell them because it's public knowledge now. And if the day before that, Putin gives Postelnikov $100 million and says, buy $100 million worth of that stuff, and then he does, and then Donald Trump sells it the next day, is that still insider trading if Donald Trump didn't know about it or didn't coordinate it?
no, that's not insider trading at all. And
Okay.
in fact, because the date that restricted shares are allowed to be sold on the market
Mm-hmm.
is public information,
Mm-hmm.
then if I bought all those shares the day before that Trump was allowed to sell them, and then the next day Trump sold them, it wouldn't be insider trading, even though I've never even
Right.
spoken to Donald Trump
It
ever.
wouldn't be insider trading, but it sounds to me like money laundering if you do it on a large enough scale.
No.
If Donald Trump tells his followers and his fans to buy the stock the day before he sells it, is that insider trading?
Well, hold on. So money laundering is you're taking dirty money and turning it into clean money, is what you're trying to do, right?
Right.
So
I'm
money
suggesting
laundering
that
schemes typically involve
Putin's money is dirty.
yeah, no, the stock market is extremely difficult to launder money through. You're much better doing it through something that's cash based. Basically, what you're doing is
A casino. Yeah.
a casino is a great money laundering opportunity. There's a lot of cash that flows in and out. You can make the cash seem legit that way. Strip clubs, great money laundering opportunity.
Okay.
Etc. I mean, I think Breaking Bad actually had a laundromat as a money
Yeah,
laundering
they did
scheme.
laundromats and car washes and stuff like that. Sure.
Yeah. So things that are largely paid in cash. The thing behind money laundering is that it's supposed to be taking money that is illegitimately earned
Mhm.
and making it look like it was legitimately earned.
Okay.
And that is the purpose of money laundering. So stuff with the stock market, because of the amount of transparency required with the stock market, money laundering is like impossible with the stock market almost. I would definitely not call this a money laundering thing.
Okay.
Insider trading, I might call
insider trading. Okay.
it a possibility. That happens from time to time, and yes, people do get charged and convicted for it. And as Popog says, yes, insider trading specifically is when you make trades based on insider knowledge that the public doesn't know.
Because and the public all knowing when he's going to sell those things means that it won't be
right, and
insider
the
trading.
date that he's allowed. So a lot of times during these kinds of mergers and whatnot, there's a specific date. I forget what that's called. It's like the lockout period or something like that. Where after that period is over is when certain people are allowed to sell their shares,
Mhm.
and that information is public knowledge. Which even then, if I were to start buying up a whole bunch of shares the day before, that wouldn't be insider trading. Also, it'd be really stupid because that day before is when people start to expect, the major holders to start unloading their shares, and you're probably going to lose money on that.
We're not talking about losing money. We're talking about giving it to Donald Trump. Uh, Vladimir Putin has a giant wad of cash that he wants to give to Trump, and he does it by giving it to Postelnikov, who then buys that stuff the day before. We all know he's going to sell them, and that's okay.
Lockup period. It doesn't work that way though.
It doesn't work that way. Okay, it probably doesn't. I'm a moron. So the stock market doesn't tell. I don't know how it works. It seems like magic to me, but that wouldn't work.
You would have to buy an unbelievable amount of that company's stock in order to
Vladimir
have that
Putin
sort of
might be the
influence on it.
richest man in the world.
And here's I'm not done.
Okay.
And the problem with that is, as soon as you own more than 5% of a company's shares,
Mhm.
you become considered a controlling owner. You have a controlling stake in the company,
Mhm.
which means you have to file with the SEC.
Okay.
So
And then when that guy does all his filings,
so this guy himself either never owned that many shares, or he would have to file with the SEC.
okay.
If that, in fact, I mean, I've only even seen the details from the article being scrolled right now. So
Yeah. I know. I'm giving it to you raw, and you're not having time to prepare. Okay.
I'm curious what it is that he actually did that he's being accused of. Insider trading, by the way, any number of things can be insider trading.
Mhm.
If you talk to somebody you know who works for a company in like a relatively, prominent or knowledgeable position for that company, and then you make a trade based on that information, technically that's insider trading. If they gave you any information that isn't public knowledge.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, I honestly couldn't say either way what this. Also, hold on a second.
Hmm.
So this police, holy fuck, I'm gonna butcher his name all night.
Oh yeah,
Postolnikov guy
Postolnikov.
was not even the guy charged with money laundering.
No, but
It was a friend of his.
yeah, it was a friend of his who's in the same company, and yeah, I know. But Postolnikov he gave a very large loan to the company so that it wouldn't go under and it could go public. So why did he do that? Because he believes in this product and he thinks he's going to get a nice return, or he's trying to bribe people. That's what I'm thinking. Is that he's trying to bribe people.
Or
I got a text. I'm
he
listening.
gave
Go
a
ahead.
loan,
Mhm.
and typically when companies give a loan, they expect a certain return on it. And that's what happened.
What, he gave him a loan and that's it? He's going to get his loan back? He's going to get his
Well,
he's going
usually
to get
there's
repaid?
like an interest rate, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how the people that give loans get money.
Okay.
They give you $100,000. They
Okay.
say there's a 30-year repayment period.
And what does it look like if he's just trying to
And
bribe people? It would look exactly like this, right?
like what?
Like him giving them money.
Like a loan?
Well, we have to. Okay. Yes. It would look like he's giving them a loan,
Did
but he's
did they
not.
file
I don't know.
paperwork that involves giving a loan and with a
I don't know. They didn't say.
signed thing that says that we will repay this money in X amount of time with this amount of interest
I don't
with
know.
this
But
payment plan?
he's being investigated by the FBI for money issues. The FBI is investigating him. And okay, that's okay. I don't know enough to demand something of him. And I'm getting my screens are still dicked up.
If you send me the article, which is apparently quite long,
Yeah, that's pretty big.
I will read it and I will give you my thoughts on what it actually might be on Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no,
Well,
actually, hold on.
no, it's fine.
I take it back.
I don't
I
think there's a
actually
whole lot
can't
going
do
on here.
Saturday.
I don't think there's a whole lot happening here. You know? Oops. Clicking on the wrong things. Good Lord. I'm all jacked the fuck up today, dude. I'm trying to get into this account and click a button so that I can read my email. But I can't. Because I'm an idiot. Alright. Come on, you damn mouse. Now my mouse is not working. Alright. What? I swear to fucking Jesus. Press the buttons. Damn. Alright. I got locked out of my account thing real quick. Then I got a text and it had to send me the text and it's a thing. Okay. Sorry. I'm all over the road today. Alright.
What is
What
this
are we?
authentication for?
It's a thing.
Okay.
What else is going on? So, what's chat got to say? We've got I know none of these monies, slots, KBP's just gambling in here as usual, and he's winning. That's cool. If you want to be cool like KBP, click right there. Go to the kick, and you can gamble and play the slots just like KBP. If you go to the Twitch, maybe I can get it on Twitch too. It might work on Twitch. KBP, give it a shot on Twitch. I swear I turned it on. It might work. I have no idea. So feel free to try. If not, it just bumps up my algorithm numbers for I have more people chatting, which is also good for me. What other?
Would you guys like to do a non-doomer article for a moment?
Yeah, what do you got?
Found something interesting today. It solves our global warming problem.
Because it's going to get ugly.
I sent it in the stream links.
All right, in the stream links. Gonna copy. And then a pasta. Got a thing there. We're going to go to the webcam screen. New electrochemical technology could de-acidify the oceans and even remove carbon dioxide in the process. That's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah. So the gist of this article is they found a way to they say de-acidify, but CO2 itself actually acidifies the ocean. So the process here manages to remove carbon dioxide from the ocean. And the ocean is actually our greatest carbon sink.
Right.
Like a lot of the carbon emissions that we have get absorbed by the ocean in general, and that has actually caused our ocean to acidify very slightly over time. So this is the sort of thing that I am looking for when I say we need to find alternatives other than just cutting carbon emissions in order to combat global warming, right?
If we do both, it'll work twice as fast.
This sort of technology is actually more efficient. The technology they're talking about they're saying it's more efficient than removing it from air.
Well, that makes sense.
And because the ocean is the greatest carbon sink that we have, it makes sense, and you can actually implement this as just part of engine systems.
To like ship engines?
To ship engines, yeah.
They intake the water, then use it to cool their
separation
engines.
happens. It's like an electric current that separates the carbon dioxide from the water molecules, and
then it goes where?
There's a tank that stores it.
Stores it. Ugh, okay.
Yeah, it gets compressed. It's sort of compressed. So like, but still, I mean, this is the sort of thing I'm looking for. I don't think it's feasible to reasonably reduce carbon emissions to the point where we can expect global warming or climate change or whatever you want to call it to reverse based on our actions for carbon reduction. But when we can take active measures to reduce the amount of carbon that's in either the water or the air so that we can balance things out, this allows us to do two things, actually. It allows us to prevent catastrophe at the same time as at the same time as allowing our economies to grow without being harmed by overly aggressive climate goals, I suppose.
Who's going to pay to do this on the ships? If it's not a product that somebody's going to be making money off of, nobody will do it. I'm on board for the idea. I like it. I love it.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be
Let's
subsidized
do it. Subsidized by the government. So what's the difference? So we have to subsidize the oil, and we have to subsidize the corn overproduction, and then we have to subsidize the collection of the carbon after the fact? Can't we just stop subsidizing the oil? Then we don't have to subsidize the thing at the end.
Well, we don't have to subsidize the oil. The oil is doing fine.
We are subsidizing it. A lot. Like a lot.
I know we subsidize the corn a lot.
I think I'm quite sure we're subsidizing the oil as well. So that the prices stay down. We're giving them a bunch of money so that they'll be happy to sell it to us for very cheap. Because if we didn't give them that money, then they'd raise the price because they're greedy capitalists who want us all to die.
I don't think we're doing that.
I I'm gonna Google oil
In fact,
subsidies.
subsidies is fine, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that at least the current administration is standing against oil production because of the whole like carbon thing, you know.
Right.
Um,
Find a better solution.
well,
Transition to
I'm
something better.
sending you one.
I know. No, you're sending me a way to clean the current problem, which is fine. We do need to clean up the current problem. But what we also need to do is get off of the oil. Just stop oil. That's the name of the activists, and they're right. Just stop oil. You have to move past it, and I don't mean immediately. Not calling for a dead stop, but if we have something better or something that is working towards getting us off of it, there will be less of that cleanup to do with this technology you're pointing out.
Right.
And you're like, well, we can have as
Except
many parties
here's
as
the
we
thing,
want
though,
because we hired a
is
maid. We can trash this house all we want because we hired a maid. Well, how about we just don't trash the house? Then we can save money on the maid.
so the reason for that is the analogy doesn't work. Uh, the reason for that is because oil and fossil fuels in general are the single most efficient source of energy that we have ever encountered. To this
Yes,
day, from the day we discovered them to now, the single most efficient source of energy.
I agree.
Like, there's nothing that beats them right now. And yes, alternative sources of energy are coming along. The pace at which those alternative sources are coming along is not sufficient to replace oil and gas by the time we need them to.
And they won't be because there's a lot of money to stopping them doing it. According to the IMF, 7 trillion globally in oil and fuel subsidies, and in the US it's 760 billion. So that's 760 billion that we paid to them to make their prices go down. I mean,
Are you familiar with the concept of diminishing returns?
I comprehend what they are. How would
Okay,
they
so
apply here?
however much we're putting into developing renewable sources of energy right now,
Hmm.
if we put all $760 billion worth towards that, how
Hmm.
much will we actually increase the pace at which we are improving our renewable energy sources?
Well, that's a prediction, and predicting things is hard, especially the future.
I'd say
I
probably
think
not
it would
much though.
go. I think it would go
Not
quite a long
$760
ways.
billion worth.
I think it would go quite a long ways. I think it would go a very long way. But in the meantime, I know exactly what would happen. That 760 billion would go towards something else, and the oil companies wouldn't get it, and then they would raise their prices sky high through the roof and blame whoever did it, because they're addicted to that money. That 760 billion, they're addicted to it, and they will never let us stop giving it to them. Uh, it's when 1980s Republicans suggest that people will get addicted to welfare and never want to work again. Well, the oil companies are addicted to this money, and they don't want to work as hard, or they don't want to charge us as much. They want to make this much money, and if it ever goes down, they will collapse our entire world. And I don't like the fact that they have that ability and that much power.
They don't have that ability.
They do. $14 a gallon gas tomorrow ruins the entire world. Whole world collapses.
I'm aware of that.
Right, and they'll do that if we give that 760 billion to somebody else. If we gave that 760 billion, even if we gave a percentage of that to solar fields or something like that, or some sort of large solar project like Obama tried to do, they would come out against him. They'd scream bloody murder, and they would pay his opposition to run against him. And that's the downside that will always happen
None of this
in
makes any
capitalism.
sense
How does
because
that
the
not make any
premise
sense?
is totally flawed.
How?
Um, you take 760 billion away from the fossil fuel industry,
Yes, they're not getting it any longer. They got it last year. They're not anymore.
and your assumption is that as a result of doing that, they retaliate by saying, okay, well, gasoline is now $14 a gallon.
Right, because they need their profit. Their
None of
profit
that
will
works this
never
way.
go down. How does it
No,
not work
none
that
of that
way?
works in that way at all.
It's exactly how it works.
So here's the thing, is those subsidies,
Uh-huh.
when you put them into our economy, essentially what they do is they are reducing the cost of producing a barrel of oil by a certain amount.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, oil prices are dictated on a global scale by supply and demand.
No, they're set by companies.
No,
The company decides how much they're going to sell it for. Those companies
except
get
there are
together.
many, many companies.
Right.
So here's what you're missing.
Uh-huh.
Part that you're missing is when you have a global market dictated by supply and demand with many, many competing companies and countries even in on it. What happens is when you purchase, or rather, what happens is every country and or company, depending on how the company is run and whether a country is in charge of it, produces oil at a certain cost per barrel.
Sure.
If that cost per barrel, for example, let's say that everybody could produce oil at $30 a barrel,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, what happens is oil will be, assuming an oversupply, oil will be continued to be sold at a lower and lower price until it reaches the cost of production, at which point you have an equilibrium because it costs you $30 to produce it and you're selling it for $30.
That equilibrium
Every
is
company
gonna
every
be
company wants to make a profit, so it might be sold for $30.01, right? With perfect competition. Okay. Obviously, this is not the case. We don't have perfect competition everywhere. So oil prices are not dictated by the companies saying we're going to charge you this much, because competition dictates that can't be the case.
Follow me here. We're giving them that money, that $760 billion, to make it easier and cheaper for them to to produce. And if that goes away, are they going to stop producing? No, they're just going to have to spend more to produce. And if you have to spend more to produce, what happens to the price?
Okay,
Goes
you're
up.
not following me then.
So
I
don't.
the other
You
thing
haven't
that
answered
drives
that question though.
Hold on. The other thing that drives prices is your supply and demand equation.
Okay.
Right? So if you have more supply than you have demand, then prices go up. And if you have less supply if you have more supply than you have demand, prices go down.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have more demand than supply, then prices go up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's a balance to be struck there too. Not just by how much it costs versus how many competitors you have.
Okay.
There's also a supply and demand.
I'm talking about changing
balance.
one variable.
Mm-hmm.
The one
I
variable
understand.
is
Now,
that
the
760
variable you're
billion
talking about.
doesn't go.
So let's say, just for example, it takes $30 per barrel for the average American oil producer to produce a barrel of oil. $30.
Okay.
You take away the subsidies,
Mm-hmm.
and now the price to produce that barrel is $40 per barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Those producers are still going to sell their oil at the global market rate, which is currently $88 a barrel.
Okay. And
So
if they make less profit, their quarterly earnings sheets or whatever the hell, all the bigwigs and the CEOs are going to look at that as a severe loss of profit. They're going to see billions of dollars less this year than last year. What does that do to a stock price?
They don't jack up their prices though.
Of course they
right?
do.
So no, they don't.
Yes,
They
they
don't.
do.
Stop. No, they don't. I'm telling you they don't. What they
Okay.
do when they see this
I think
problem,
they're lying to
okay,
you, and you believe them.
I think you don't understand how this works. And I'm trying to explain it. So, the way that this works is that happens. And the result is, okay, we need to do a number of things. First thing we might do is we will look to cut costs wherever we can.
Mm-hmm. I agree. They would do that.
They will do that. That means layoffs. It means shutting down rigs that might be underperforming other ones.
Uh-huh.
It means cutting expenditures at the administrative level in some cases. The next thing they might do is cut returns to shareholders. That works too.
That's the last thing
Exxon,
they'll do. I don't believe you. They will raise prices. They will lay off people. They
Exxon
will do
cut the
everything
dividend
else.
back in the day. Exxon cut the dividend when there was a problem.
How long ago was that?
2020.
Okay. Just curious if we were in this century or not. Okay. So the price goes down in 2020 because of fucking COVID. So they can't turn a profit, so they cut what's going to the.
Yeah, so they massively cut expenditures. Also, there was a massive cut in expenditures back in 2014, or around that time period, because we had fracking, which doubled our
Mhm.
output and totally crashed global oil prices.
Okay.
Um,
If they can't turn a profit at the same level this year as they did last year, after doing those things, and I think they'll do this first, they'll raise the price.
but they can't.
What do you mean they can't? They can. It's their product. They produce it.
Okay, so here's the problem with that. ExxonMobil, let's say,
Uh-huh.
they're receiving. I'm gonna throw a number out there: $100 billion in
100
subsidies
billion.
every year.
Nice.
Okay.
They're getting 100 billion. They're the biggest.
Yeah, yeah.
Got it.
They are currently selling their oil at $88 a barrel, just like everybody else in the world.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Subsidies go away.
Subsidies gone.
So
Okay.
with the subsidies, their cost of producing a barrel of oil was $30.
Mhm.
And without the subsidies, it's $40.
Okay.
Do you think ExxonMobil is able to sell their oil at $93 a barrel now?
If they don't, they won't make as big a profit, and they will
Uh-huh.
convince everyone to do it.
Except, hold on a second, because I can buy Saudi Arabia's oil
There's 7
for $88
billion.
a barrel.
There's 7 billion worldwide in these subsidies through the entire country, through the entire world. America's giving a whole bunch of it. China's giving a whole bunch of it. They would probably shift
Okay.
away from America.
So I'll ask you this then.
Mhm.
When this is a very simple question. When those subsidies go away and Exxon's cost of producing the oil at $30 a barrel goes to producing the oil at $40 a barrel,
Mhm.
do you actually think Exxon is able to dictate the price and say, no, we're only selling our oil for $93 a barrel? When the global market price is $88 a barrel.
If they
Who is buying
advertise
their
like
product?
that, right? Who is buying it?
When
Everybody
you can
has
buy it for
to.
88, who is buying it for 93?
When you can buy it for 88, who's
Nobody.
buying it at 93?
Exxon still
Nobody.
has to sell their product
So they're
at
not going to make a
$88 a
profit.
barrel.
So they're going to make no profit. So their
They're still
profits are
making a
going
ton of
to
profit.
their profits are going to be cut. I agree.
They go from making
That's
$58 a
acceptable.
barrel in profit to $48 a barrel in profit.
I'm happy with that. Isn't that a good thing? Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? I think that's a wonderful thing to aim for, but I don't think that they will accept it. I think that they are addicted to that money, and if they don't get it, they're going to kick and scream and cry and whine and maybe raise their prices. And if they don't raise their prices, they're going to have less profit, and they're going to wreck our entire system.
I'm telling you, they literally can't increase their prices.
Then let's stop them all. 760 billion. Get rid of it. It's not going to raise the prices. Why doesn't Joe Biden do it? He hates it. Joe Biden and Barack Obama both hated those damn things. Why do they continue it if they don't think it's going to bring that price down? Okay, so maybe I should ask you that. Do those subsidies bring the price down?
Yes, in the
But they
long
won't
run
bring them
they
up if they're
do,
gone.
and in the long run, you're not understanding.
Okay.
So you take the subsidies away. All right.
Okay.
Now, here's what happens. By taking the subsidies away, companies will respond by cutting costs. Some of those costs might include new rigs,
Okay.
which means that our production either stagnates or even maybe declines as a result.
Okay.
Okay. Oil is a supply and demand global commodity,
Okay.
which means take those subsidies away. The United States companies, the ones that were subsidized under with a certain amount to produce this oil,
Okay.
they decide, all right, well, we're not getting these subsidies. Part of our cost-cutting mechanisms are going to be we're not going to open these rigs that we think are maybe less efficient than some other ones in terms of how much they can produce for us versus the cost of drilling,
Okay.
right? The result is less supply,
Less supply, which means
higher prices because their
prices.
supply demand
That's what I'm
changes.
saying.
I'm
If we
telling you that in the immediate term, cutting those subsidies does not change the price of oil. It takes time because that production is still happening the minute you sign that paper to cut all the subsidies in the United States for oil. The
Mhm.
production is still there.
Production's still there.
There's a follow-on effect
Sure.
of the changes that get made as a result
I agree it
that
wouldn't happen
cause
overnight.
prices to go up.
Okay. So the prices would go up.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I said. I did blame the company for doing that, but I think that's the company's choice. Um, they're getting the subsidy. When it ends, they will backfill uh, that money, or they won't, like you're describing. Either they'll cut into their profits to do that exploration that you're talking about, or they won't do the exploration. I agree with you, and both of those options increase the price because it lowers the supply.
Well, no, backfilling actually doesn't increase the price. So like if they dip into their profits to continue to expand their rigs, that doesn't increase price because that
Okay,
actually increases demand.
but it lowers their profit.
It does lower their profit.
And then what happens to their stock uh, prices? What happens to their shareholders? What happens to their CEO? Their CEO gets fired. The stock prices drop. The people start suing and screaming bloody murder, and then we see a market free fall, and then they panic. And
Okay,
what happens
well,
after that panic? They raise
the
prices.
alternative being, okay, well, the subsidies are gone, so we're going to focus specifically on the most efficient wells that we can drill, and we're going to stop doing the less efficient ones that we used to, you know, have subsidized and whatnot. Um, can you really blame the companies for doing that?
Of course I can.
Why? How?
Because I'm a filthy, filthy socialist. I, I don't trust capitalism. It it is a this is the flaw of capitalism, is that once somebody starts making that kind of profit, they're addicted to it and they can't stop. And if they go down a little bit, they take everyone with them. I think that if these subsidies stopped, one huge political problem. Every senator on the right would be screaming about it, every single one of them. And then they would start paying for lobbyists and stuff like that to push against it, trying and then pushing like for other people to run the government. They would try and they would spend a bunch of money to get someone who would put those things back in place in the government so that it would come back and then they would win and then they would lower the prices because you said that the subsidies lower the prices and I think they do. So if the subsidies come
Well,
back,
no, they
then the
don't do
prices
that
go
directly though.
down. Well, the regular people are dumb. Uh,
So if you introduce a subsidy, right, what you do is the floor for producing or rather, the production cost of that good goes down, right? Overall, in aggregate,
Okay.
we are reducing the cost on the producer to produce the good that they are producing.
Right, so that they can do
Right.
it easier, quicker, and with less cost to themselves.
Yeah. So doing that actually doesn't reduce prices in the immediate sense.
Well, not immediately.
If the global price is $88 a barrel,
Mhm.
and we give someone a subsidy to take their $40 of investment per barrel down to $30 a barrel,
Mhm.
the global price is still going to be 88 until such time as the production increases as potentially a result of our subsidy in order to affect that supply demand balance and bring prices down.
Okay, so it's a really long and painful cycle. How long does that cycle take? You suppose? A week? 2 weeks? 2 years?
Uh,
What are we talking?
I couldn't actually put a number
Okay.
on it, but you're
Okay.
talking in the months to years time
Months to
frame. Yeah,
years. Okay, great. I'm just
depending on the
curious.
commodity and whatnot.
Okay. Okay. So January 7th, 2021. We can't blame Biden, who got sworn in on the 6th, for high gas prices because it's not overnight.
Oh, we certainly can
Oh,
because
we can.
the
Okay.
yeah, because
He's been
the
in
actions
office
that
for
the
one day.
administration took. Oh no,
Literally one
hold on.
day. He
Oh,
he
you're
got sworn
saying
in
as
as
of
of
January 7th. No,
January
we can't.
7th,
No,
2021. It's not his fault yet. It will be.
correct.
It
Yeah,
will
it's
be
not his fault.
because
It
it takes
is.
months
I
and
was
maybe even
thinking
years.
like
Yeah, today it is.
present day.
I'm on board.
Present day, yes.
Yeah, I'm on board. Today it
Uh,
is. And I'm
back
being
then on January 7th, I get it. So January 6th he took office. January 7th is his first day in office. Yeah, no, you can't blame Biden for high gas prices on January 7th,
okay.
2020.
2021, it's not his
2021.
fault.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
2000, January 7th, 2021, not his bag yet. Okay. But a year from them it would be, or a year after he changed
A year after,
policies or
his
something like that.
influence is more pronounced. 2 years
Okay.
after, you're getting to the point where it's like, okay, probably his
Definitely.
fault.
Okay.
At this point, it's yeah. It's you can't go back and blame the Trump administration for the problems that we're having
For
right
2 years ago.
now, is what
Okay,
I'm saying.
got it. Um, hand in New York City, 2112. The U.S. lost its hegemony in oil price fixing, basically. Are the prices of oil fixed, Thomas? I think that they are, but I'm a conspiratorial nut. You're suggesting that
Sorry,
they're not? Are
what was the
oil
question?
prices fixed? Are oil's prices fixed? Like, is there a nefarious plot of OPEC setting the price for those things so that they get maximum profit? You're suggesting that?
Um, oh, okay, I see what's going on. All right, so for him, I would say that the U.S. did not have a hegemony um, on oil price fixing ever. We were in control of oil prices uh, as an economy for maybe 5 to 8 years, and that was during the advent of fracking. When fracking became a major thing, we doubled our oil output, and that caused oil prices to come way, way down.
Okay.
Um, the United States has never had the ability to outright dictate oil prices. OPEC actually has a greater dictating ability on oil, because when they don't like that the price of oil is too low, what they do is they all get together and they agree to cut production to meet the supply and demand balance that they want.
So they're gaming the system.
Well, it's a cartel.
It's a cartel.
It's a so like imagine if AMD. I'm not in favor of OPEC at all.
I know. What I'm saying is, what if all of them lost their subsidies? What if OPEC
Well,
lost their
so
subsidies? Wouldn't they,
well,
being the cartel, raise their prices so that they don't, so nothing cuts into their profit? Maybe,
no, no, no,
maybe I
no, no,
shouldn't be
no.
griping
So
about the
so
Americans.
you're mistaking again.
Okay.
What OPEC does when prices are too low is they all get together and they say, all right, we're all producing this amount of oil.
Hmm.
And so we should reduce collectively our production by this amount. And that way our supply and demand for oil is in balance and we get our $80 to $90 per barrel of oil. And we all enjoy the price, right? The United States, the only time we've really been in control of oil prices is directly after fracking was became widespread,
hmm
and then until a few years ago, when after we had leveled off for several years, the world came back into balance with that.
hmm
So we have, as a response the to Ham, um, I reject the idea that the United States ever had a hegemony on oil price fixing.
Okay.
We never did.
We never did. Okay.
Uh, I would say that we had an impact on oil prices when fracking came around in strength, and that caused oil to come down to like that $40 a barrel price for a while. And actually, what happened then was having oil at $40 a barrel. Most of the organizations, the companies that were involved in fracking at the time, they could only produce a barrel of oil for upwards of $60 a barrel. So when all of this extra production came online, a whole bunch of those companies actually end up going bankrupt and
Okay.
having to dissolve because oil was selling for $20 a barrel less than what they were able to produce it for.
Okay. All right. All right. So, um, yeah, it's highly complicated. I agree. I know that I don't entirely comprehend it or trust it. 'Cause that's the other thing. Is a lot of the stuff you're telling me. I don't think you're lying. I just think like I don't trust it. I don't trust this cabal, this cartel of OPEC.
Oh,
They're
you don't
coming
have to
for you.
trust OPEC at
They're
all.
they're coming for you, and they're going to set the prices wherever they want them. It's
Well, but
that's what I'm
you can
worried about.
predict what OPEC is going to do, right?
I mean, if we can predict
So
what crime they're going to commit, I mean, it's
technically, it's not a crime.
if we can predict their price fixing, then it's still not okay to price fix.
There is no global law. There is no global government that has set a law that says that adjusting your production of a commodity as a country and collaborating with other countries to fix the supply and demand balance is illegal.
Okay.
So they're not doing anything that's against the law. It's just something that's, you know,
Highly immoral
in
and
their
going to
best
kill us
interest.
all. Okay.
Potentially highly immoral, yeah.
It's not a crime because it deals with a lot of money, says Shinsanto. I agree with him. But that's just me being a filthy, filthy socialist again. Uh, I don't trust the people with the most money. I suspect that they did something shady or illegal to get it.
Well, it's not a crime because which government has jurisdiction over the decision of Saudi
None of
Arabia to
them,
cut
because
their oil production by
none of them. You're
by
right.
2 million barrels a day?
You're right. None of them have power, which means that the real shadow government is OPEC, folks. I'm telling you right here. OPEC decides your life. They're the ones that run the government. The shadow government is OPEC. Yeah, and I know I'm being crazy. Okay, that is enough about that. Let's move on to the next topic. See some new names in chat. I appreciate you being here. Give us your political hot takes. Press the follow button, press the subscribe button, and if you've got links to stories that you want to talk about, feel free to put them in the Discord. Go there, put them in the Discord, and then we can see what you're talking about, what you're thinking, and we can feel it together. Um, let's hop into the next story. What else have we got tonight? Since we had such good news with that, um, let's look at this. CNN's Data Guru shows how Israel-Hamas war is costing Biden big with voters in the latest brutal poll. So the Dems and the left and the young people are not happy with Biden and what's happening in Israel right now. And they're not going to vote for him. So that's, I think, a bad news. That's bad. As you can see here, a lot of deep red Donald Trump leaning President Biden in 6 of 7 swing states. Again, polls way too early. Only in Wisconsin does President Biden hold a very small lead. And what you're seeing underneath the numbers that might contribute to these leads for Donald Trump, particularly when it comes to support for President Biden among Democrats. It looks like here so his approval among Democrats and by Biden's handling of a lot of different issues here, the economy, Russia, Ukraine, pretty good, right? 81%. jumped down to foreign policy, and it drops to 65. So the Dems are happy with the way Biden is doing Russia, Ukraine, and the economy. But when we go to gun violence and foreign policy, and the Mexico border drops down to 58. So the Dems and the left aren't happy with him, and they're not going to vote for him. This is great news for John McCain, everybody. Is Trump going to win because the left doesn't vote for him? For Biden?
I certainly think it's possible. I don't think I don't think that Biden is the favorite right now, for sure.
Right.
If I had to put money on it today, I would say probably we have Trump as president again.
Okay. That's what the numbers look like at the moment. Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't look good for the Democrats. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for him at the moment. There's still what, 8 months to go or so? Because it's April. We got all of April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So that's 7. That's when the real shit starts to happen, and the votes start coming in, and then November. So that's about 8 months away. So we've got about 8 months to go until we know, and then 12 months until we know who won. Uh, because that's going to be a shit show. Are we going to get wild theories? Are we going to get the same thing we got last time, where Donald Trump claims victory at like 7 p.m., goes to bed, and then we get the vote dump, and then they cry bloody murder the next day or 2 weeks? I think we waited 2 weeks to know who won last time. Or was it as long as 2 weeks? It felt like 2 weeks. I was watching the news fucking nonstop back then.
I have no idea.
It was about a week maybe. I don't know, before one news network called it and they said, "Hey, these are the numbers. Here they are. He won Wisconsin and stuff like that." Are we going to get another big round of 60 or 70 lawsuits and a denial again? And one guy, both parties saying they won?
Doubtful.
No? Okay.
No, I doubt it. I think I'm not gonna lie. I think that on the right, me personally, like, yeah, I'll vote. But if Trump loses, I don't doubt that it happened this time.
Okay. Okay.
I think that I think people might be a little burnt out on this kind of stuff, actually.
You're suggesting I should have made a political stream 5 years ago. Good call. Good point.
That
I
was a
appreciate
great time to make one, yes.
it. As usual, I'm always a day late and a dollar short. Typical. That's how my life goes. So what do we got? We got. So continuing on that thing, Biden furious over deaths of World Central Kitchen workers, but White House has no plans to change Israeli policy. This is my favorite. Um, we're really furious. We're really upset and unhappy about the things that happened, and we're not going to do anything about it.
Well, this is one of those things where this is why the Democrats are or the Democrat voters are so so mad at the Biden administration.
Right. We would like him to do a thing.
I'm gonna reveal something very controversial here.
Oh my God, you guys batten down the hatches for the
man,
political hot takes.
here it is. When it comes to the conflict over in the Middle East or rather, between Israel and Pakistan, the Gaza Strip, and all that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
I know.
And I think people that do care, who are just like normal people that aren't involved in like geopolitical activities and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not a strategist, if you don't have any ties to either of those locations,
Mm-hmm.
family or otherwise, or maybe heritage-wise, I don't see why you would care.
Uh, because we would like to have a peaceful world in which the America doesn't give weapons to one side and band-aids to the other. That would be nice. Uh, that's yeah. You're getting called out for not having enough empathy in chat. Um, I recognize that it is difficult to pay attention or empathize and care about people you've never met in a place you've never heard of and never paid attention to. Um, but I mean, that's politics, right? Uh, that's why I kind of like politics. I like paying attention to it. I like seeing that. I like empathizing with the person in uh, that's in Rafah right now that's about to get invaded and they don't know what's going on, or empathize with the Jewish people who died on or October 4th, or I was on October 6th. Shit, my dates are getting mixed up. Now here I am looking like a fool, or empathizing with the poor bastard.
Pakistan. I'm a fucking
7th.
idiot. It's
You did
Palestine.
you did say Pakistan.
Whoops.
Um, and I was fighting in my head not to say Pakistan myself. It was October 7th. Sorry. Yes,
It starts
October
with a
7th.
P. It's in that area. Okay. Give me a
So
break.
yes, I've never been to Florida, but I do empathize with the 13-year-old child there who might feel like they're trans and wants to do something about it, but can't because it's against the law. Or might go looking for information, but only to find out that all the books got banned. That is empathy, I suppose. It's about being educated about something. They want us to be uneducated so they can control them. Yeah, I could see that. I would like world peace, and we won't have it while America's selling guns to Israel and selling band-aids to Palestine. Or the other way around, if we were selling guns to India and band-aids to Pakistan, that would also be a bad plan. But I think we do that. Uh,
That's gonna be memed forever. I can already feel it.
we'll just have
Fucking
to
shit.
we'll just have to learn so much more about Pakistan to make you completely right. Uh,
All right.
misspeak,
Israel versus Pakistan. No.
misspeaks become memes. It's very good. Uh, I would like a piece of the world, says KVP, and Grand Gamer Fan says it's a if it's in butts for candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. That's true. Let's look at it is, I agree, a very shitty situation that the American that doesn't immediately affect a lot of the American population. And if you want to stay ignorant of it, you can. It's quite easy to not ever
Sorry.
see
Say
any
that
of these things.
previous bit again. Go ahead.
That it's a difficult situation that doesn't have a clear victor, and the American people aren't entirely affected by it. By and large, most of
Right.
America is not affected by this at all. It will never make a difference in their lives. It will never make a difference to anyone they know or work or in their homes or in their state or anywhere ever. And so you have to pick and choose your political battles, you know.
Right.
The people
And I'm
who,
not worried about it. So
yeah,
here's where I'm gonna make another argument
hmm
is I think that there are a lot of people like me that don't actually really care
I
about
think you're
that
right.
conflict.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And um, here's the problem for you and not for me
hmm
is that a lot of the people that seem to have a problem, like they're really upset about this conflict and whatnot, they're all on your side.
Yes, they
And they're
are.
all upset at the Biden administration for the way that it's being handled.
You ready for me to judo flip you?
Go for it.
It's because they pay attention and know what's going on within the world, and the people on the right
Mm,
don't. Judo flip. You see
well,
that?
I
That's why
mean, I
the
knew there was
left.
a conflict over there, but you know, it's kind of over there though.
Yeah, it's over there. And
You
the
know,
people on the left are paying attention to it, and they're upset with what they're seeing, and so they are demanding the people in that they voted for take care of it and do a better job. And if they don't, they get upset and they threaten not to vote for him. But uh, I'm going to suggest, just like you suggested, just like you mentioned, if you just watch TV, you just watch TV, not even the news. You're just watching American Idol on Tuesdays and The Masked Singer on Wednesdays. This has nothing to do with you. You don't even know what's happening. And that person we would call ignorant of, not in an insulting way, but they're ignorant of what is happening over there. They're not generally voting Democrat.
that's fine. And I actually don't even have a problem with that.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I'll freely admit I don't know everything up and down about what's happening over there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and neither do I.
It
I'm no
just
expert.
here's the thing
I'm just
is it
feeling
doesn't bother
things.
me.
Okay, right, because it has very little to do with
Um,
you. And I agree. It has
it
very
has
little to do with
very little
me.
to do.
It has
You know,
almost
if
no effect on me, my
what I
life,
actually think
currently.
is those people who are so angry about what's happening over there that they're not going to vote for the political candidate that most aligns with their views and what they want for our country, they're idiots. I'm sorry.
Well,
That's just stupidity.
they're not being long. They might, in a normal year, I could almost back them. I really could. If there were anybody other than Donald Trump on the other side, I would say, you know what? If you don't want to vote for Joe Biden because of the choices he made, then don't. But this
Okay.
time, it's a lot worse. The alternative is real bad. Uh, yeah,
For a
it's.
conflict that we're not involved in, that uh, they wouldn't, if this was
I mean, we're
80
highly
years ago,
involved. I mean, the America's highly involved in this.
if this was 80 years ago or 100 years ago, these people would not even know that this was happening.
Until 6 months after it's over and they get a
And then
newspaper.
they
Yeah, I know.
find out,
I agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, the borders have been redrawn. Uh, I mean, give me a break. Like these people, I would say, are perhaps uh, too hyper aware of what's going on when they're considering the conflicts between two foreign nations that have nothing to do with us.
I mean, we do really, really,
Uh,
really give all the bombs to one side.
compared to voting in their own interests in their own country. I will say that a Democrat that manages to not vote for Biden as a result of the fact that they don't like the handling of the Israel-Palestine conflict is really really dumb.
I agree. And that's why I tell them that they got to do it anyway. That's why I look into the camera and say, hey, you have to vote for Joe Biden anyway. I'm sorry. I know he did a bad job, but the alternative is really so much worse.
But hey, I really support that Democrat actually
I
because
know.
they should really really focus on the issues that matter to them, especially if it involves uh, that conflict over there, and definitely don't vote for Joe Biden um, because of his handling of this scenario, please.
Right. Okay, so you might not care about it as it stands, but there was some important news. An Iranian embassy, actually it was the consulate, I want to say, got bombed by Israel. Iran says Israel bombed its embassy in Syria to kill commanders. So I know you weren't super on board, but all of a sudden, hey, guess what? Israel is throwing bombs into Syria now and killing Iranians, which makes things a whole lot worse, which makes things a lot hotter and more complicated, more dangerous.
Oh yeah, this is kind of a problem.
This is a problem. And if we weren't giving them those, I mean, if Israel dropped a bomb, America gave it to them, right? Like they didn't get it from anywhere else. We gave it to them. So is that us bombing Iran? Kinda. Um, Blattvig, I agree with what you're saying in chat. It has everything to do with us. One of our constructions and one of our and they're on our payroll. Our politicians are subsequently on theirs. As our current president said, if there wasn't an Israel today, okay, let me see if I can do a Biden voice. If there wasn't an Israel today, Jack, we'd invent one to protect our interests. Yeah, I can't do a Joe Biden voice. Israel's been bombing Syria for years. That part's not new, only that they aimed it at the Iranian embassy there. Yeah, so not good. Could escalate things further.
It could. I mean, that's always a fear.
Hmm.
That I mean, but at the same time, Iran has been a loose cannon for a long time, and they have talked a lot of shit for a long time.
Hmm.
So could also just be another nothing from them.
I mean, one of their their embassies got bombed and their generals got killed again. I mean, I know we've killed them in the past, but it's not going to help. This isn't helping the situation. I can't
Well,
imagine how
technically
this is
speaking,
making things better.
so the Trump administration actually blew up a building that had an what do they
Soleimani,
call it?
the Iranian
Yes,
general,
was it
Soleimani.
Soleimani?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not technically, if I recall, he wasn't technically a an Iranian general. He was a member. He was a general of the IRGCN or whatever that is, which is a we actually have classified them as a terrorist group
Well, we can
and
classify
not
anybody as a terrorist group.
officially.
Uh, have you heard the things I said
Uh
on this stream? I could be classified as a terrorist. Uh, it was an
oh,
Iranian. It was an
careful.
important guy in Iran. They knew who he was. Wasn't a nobody. He was a very important guy, and he was assassinated by America while he was in Iraq. That's not a good thing. That doesn't de-escalate anything. I'm glad it didn't set off a larger war, but I'm worried that Israel might set off a larger war because if they go to war with Iran, we are dragged in. There's no way we're not. There's no way we're not involved entirely with that war. And I think they're a bit uh, gung ho about it. I think they totally want to do that. Iran is a real country. I know that you get in trouble for calling countries shitholes or not, but Iran's a real country, and they are a fortress of mountains and hidden little bunkers, and we wouldn't easily or quickly or effectively be able to win that fight with them. Even dropping, I know, wild speculation, but dropping nukes on them, they would simply hide in their bunkers until it was over, and they would be fine. And then the whole world goes up in flames at that point. But because Russia jumps in it too, because they're itching to fire off their last few nukes. I think we should be friends with Iran. I really think we should.
I don't think we can.
Well, not anymore. Not since Donald Trump threw out the entire Iran deal. Now we don't have a chance. We have zero chance now. And this is, I mean, the diplomacy got kicked out. It's out the door. So it's only war with them. And Israel just bombed one of their things, and then Israel's going to be hit by them or the Houthis. Honestly, Iran's going to tell the Houthis to go attack something, and then they're going to blame it on Israel, and then Israel's going to strike at another target in Syria, and then we'll have to get dragged in on that, and then a full-blown war comes out, and we'll have to back Israel.
Well, I have a better idea though.
What's the better idea?
Hey, Israel,
Hmm.
if you do some dumb shit that puts you in the weeds, guess what? You're getting yourself out of it.
Thomas, I can't believe you'd be such an anti-Semite. I'm kidding. Uh, but they will claim that they're being persecuted for who they are, and all the other Arab countries are picking on them, and the Arab countries aren't great about hiding the fact that they don't like them. So it just a lot to deal with, and global politics is hard and complicated, long and hard, giggity. And I don't think they're doing us any favors. They're actually making things much harder than they need to be. Oh, Tony's here. Hi, Tony. Glad you're here. Thanks for
I
coming in.
we should be less involved in that region in general.
Um, okay. A slow removal uh, from the things there, but how are we going to get all our oil? How are we going to do global shipping? How are we going to be in charge of the entire economy, the global economy?
I mean, we don't have to be.
We
That's the
don't
thing.
have to be. Oh, Thomas, I thought you wanted USA number one. USA, USA, USA. We're number one. We can't be number one if we're not in charge of the entire global economy. Then China would take over. Thomas, if we back out of the Middle East, China will just move in. And then we'll be number two.
It's a
I'm just
possibility.
giving you shit. Uh, uh, what's Tony got to say? Oh, we need Trump. If you like Iran, then go move there, jerkwad. Thanks, Tony. Good call. That's exactly the point I was trying to make. You totally get it. I think that's it for the news tonight. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about or look at, Thomas?
Not really. Although I do want to just state that Iran was a great country until the revolution that they had
Right.
uh, when Ayatollah Khomeini took charge.
And that was what the CIA did. CIA did, right?
And I'm not sure about that part.
The
It's
CIA put
it.
him in charge, if I remember
I
correct.
totally buy it if that was the what happened.
That's the
Yeah.
the thing generally that a lot of people say is that it was a forward-thinking, a decent country until we goofed it with the CIA and we put somebody in charge who would be more willing to sell us their oil, and that happened to be a Muslim fundamentalist. So
Pretty sure that Ayatollah Khomeini was the bad guy all along.
he probably was. That wouldn't surprise me. The CIA backed the
And
Shah, not the Ayatollah. Okay, Tony, thank you. Damn, it was in the 70s. I wasn't around back then. You were, Tony. I know you were. So you were
well,
there.
there we go.
So the CIA backed the Shah, but then okay, so the CIA backs the Shah. The people are unhappy with the fact that there's an American puppet, the Shah, running the thing, and then he got overthrown by the Ayatollah. Still kind of our fault.
I
Does that
mean, but
make it
not
our
really
fault?
though,
But not really
because
though. Yeah, it's less of our fault, I suppose. Yeah,
the
they could
country
have
was
put a.
doing great, and then they decided to elect the Ayatollah Khomeini.
Well, they had a revolution, right?
Um,
Um, they weren't going to get uh, the Shah was going to sell America all the oil, and America was going to benefit greatly, and Iran was going to only benefit a little bit,
have
and they
Have
wanted to
you
benefit
noticed
lots.
at all that like this keeps happening though?
I agree. It keeps happening. We should stop
Well,
doing it.
well, what I mean by it keeps happening is like, um, so we try to move Iran in a certain direction, towards Western values,
Hmm.
and then they didn't like that, and they elected an extremist as a result. And then we went to Afghanistan, and we tried to implement Western values in Afghanistan, and they didn't like that. So as soon as we pulled out, the Taliban took charge.
Hmm. So we should stop
I
doing that.
mean,
Are you suggesting we shouldn't do
we
that any longer?
we should probably just stop doing this.
Okay. Okay. Tony said the revolution included multiple groups in coalition. They deposed the Shah, and the country came under the rule of the Islamic theocracy it's under now. Okay, so yeah, Tony is correct. that the Shah was going to sell all the oil to America for cheap, and then the people didn't like that because they wanted the money for the oil, and so they put someone else in charge. Western values in quotation marks, and the options were the communists take over or we fund this kind of dictator guy so he doesn't happen. It turns out there was a third option that the Islamists take over. Yeah, you're right. There was a third there were better options there. I'm sorry that everything went wrong. Global politics is a complicated game. It is very difficult. I am turning the robot lady back on. So if you're here, if you're paying attention, if you're following, press the follow button, type into chat, and the lovely lady Canooch will read it out to you. But Thomas can't hear it
And
because
I'm
I'm
going to take that cue
Canooch.
to go use the restroom, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
In a moment. And then is it game time?
Yeah, I'm going to play this
Are we
game.
doing a
N-
chat
n-
stream game again?
I'm just going to play this game real quick. I mean,
Did I miss the Argentina story?
the Argentina story. No, you're right. We didn't do the Argentina story, Popog. Thank you for the reminder. See, folks, here's what happened. Popog, the very cool guy that he is, went to the Discord, and then he told us.
I had to go do some chores.
No, I did not miss it. I saw that you weren't
I'll be
here, and
back
I
and we
put it
talk about
off. Yeah,
Argentina.
go ahead, go ahead. I saw that you weren't here, and then I put it off, and then forgot that I had put it off, and now we're going to do it.
Discord. HTTPS Discord GG Beignet Tridix 8.
I might leave a text-to-speech on for this too, because it's silly. So the Popog went to the Discord. He gave us a link to a story about Argentina, and we're going to talk about it. So let's go there. Let's turn you off and turn window capture on, and then get a window ready to go.
Xena did the original link.
Oh yeah, Xena did it, and then you tossed some stuff in there too. Yeah. You're right. Xena did the
Zella.
thing. Zayla, very cool guy, is participating in our Discord, and if you want to be a cool guy, you can do that too. All the coolest people participate in the Discord. We're going to look at Captain ANCAP. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Window cap. Sure. Go there. Go there. Ba-bow. We'll wait for Thomas to get back. How's everybody doing? I'm good. I'm talking about the news and playing video games. It's kind of my favorite things to do. Uh, it's true that I don't know that much about Milei in Argentina. He's a bit of a meme lord and a bit silly, but who isn't, honestly? All the coolest people are silly.
In our Beignet Tridix 8 Discord.
That's right, Beignet Tridix 8. It's a French person, Beignet Tridix 8. What kind of last name is Tridix 8? I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to look up some photos of good old Captain ANCAP here. There we go. Good old Captain ANCAP. There he is. Ready to rock, Captain ANCAP. He is ready to party. Hope Thomas comes back soon, or else we'll be sad. Okay. So, let's see. Talk about the channel. Shockingly, the latest video I did on YouTube got like 300 views.
I've only
It's
had
insane.
Louisiana style. I am not giving the French credit for anything. I
Yeah.
assumed Tridix 8 was from Louisiana.
Tridix 8? Okay, yeah. Beignet Tridix 8 is from Louisiana. Only had the Louisiana style and not giving the French credit for anything. Yeah, it's good. I do love me some beignets, though. They are delicious. And then you get some chicory coffee. Ooh, good times. I lived in Louisiana, in a shitty part of Louisiana for a couple of years, and it was very nice. Walk into the gas station, look at the candy bars, they're all king size. All of them. And I was like, wow, okay. And then you look at all the food, and the po' boy sandwiches are just double burgers. They're just you order a po' boy, and it's just 2 hamburgers on a long bun. So extra large there, king size there. And then you look at all the people. They're also
Every
king
part
size.
of Louisiana is the shitty part, let's be real here.
Uh-oh, somebody's been there. You speak like you've been there before. This guy knows what he's talking about. Be careful. Uh, yeah, I lived in Grand Isle for a few years. It was a nightmare. It was a long time ago though. So yeah.
Recently moved out my wife's Cajun.
Oh, your wife's Cajun. Oh, well, okay. That's. I mean, she cooks like one. That would be okay with me.
I have returned.
Oh, hi. So, do you know who Captain ANCAP is?
At Blatchvig
No,
condolences.
but I assume they're an end cap.
Yeah, it's Captain ANCAP right here. Uh, this is Javier Milei. He is the new, president of Argentina? Let me double check. He might be something similar to that. Milei vows roadmap towards Argentine sovereignty over British-ruled Falkland Islands. So, that's him, Captain ANCAP.
El Presidente.
El Presidente is what he is, yes. Argentina's president,
Wait, that
Javier
actually
Milei.
looks really similar.
It's the same guy, boss. Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You're fucking with me. No, go back. What was the other picture?
That's Captain ANCAP. He goes
Are you
to.
serious?
Yes. I'm not kidding. This is the person who got elected. This guy ran a successful presidential campaign for the president of Argentina.
Holy fuck. That's awesome.
Well, not really. His country's falling apart and they're all starving to death.
Oh,
That is
Uh,
a 100 real
I mean,
photo of him.
the meme is amazing though.
the meme is amazing. So,
And also, I mean, what a glow up. Let's be real.
well, he was running.
Waldo models his chops after this guy.
I do. He and I are uh, pork chop sideburn brothers. We have that in common. So you can hold that against me if you feel like. But yes, he's been running around as an ANCAP
Love me some
suggesting
beefy chops.
that he should be the state should stop spending money on fucking everything. Just no more spending ever on anything. And in response, and the spending his government has done has dropped shockingly way down. These people are also very impoverished and kind of starving to death. Uh, but this is the story that Zayla sent us because he promised to take back the Falkland Islands, which sounds like he would be taking stuff from England. But let's read it, and then Popog has given us context for the end. I want to read it. I think this is what he's saying. Yes, this is what he's saying. I want to reiterate our unwavering claim for the islands and commit that during our government we will be able to have a clear roadmap so that the Malvinas return to Argentina hands. And Milei was speaking during a ceremony in Buenos Aires to mark the 42nd anniversary of the start of the war between the two countries over the chilly, windswept island chain south of the Atlantic, 300 miles east of the tip of South America. So they're claiming that they own them. England says, no, we do. England owned everything at one point. And the only way to make them leave is war, generally. So
Malvinas is the Argentina name for those islands, just FYI.
Malvinas is the
Thanks
name
for the stream. Good
they
night.
give them. Good night, KBP. Thanks for coming. Real and sincere claim, not mere words in international forums with no impact on reality, and they only served the politician in power to impose false love for the country. So CNN freaked out about this a little bit because he promised to take this land from Britain, which generally requires violence and war. Nobody wants to see Argentina go to war with Britain, but according to a second link that was sent by Popog, it's constitutionally required that he say that, that he wants the islands back, but he doesn't actually have to do anything to get them.
And their last surprise attack on the islands to reclaim it did not go well.
Oh, they have done attacks to get the islands back, so it's a thing. Maybe this would be a fun thing to watch. Perhaps we can watch Argentina's Captain ANCAP go to war against Britain to take their islands back.
In our lifetimes, well as olds.
Won't that be fun?
Sure.
um,
I don't know about fun.
we'll get to watch it anyway. But according to the way Popog explained it to me, it's almost guaranteed that whoever gets elected as president of Argentina will promise to get those islands back and try to get them. And if they fail, it's okay. And that's just a thing that they do. They just every once in a while try and take those Malvinas Islands back.
Well, it's sort of like China and Taiwan, right?
Yeah. And
whoever's in charge of China always has to be like, oh yeah, Taiwan's part of China. We're gonna make sure they understand that.
You call it the right word. You have to call it Chinese Taipei rather than Taiwan.
Try is in quotes. Most of the time they do absolutely nothing even related to them.
Yeah, most of the time they don't do anything. Okay, yeah. So it
so
could
it's
be
exactly
fun,
a China-Taiwan situation.
Yeah, so there you go. But does Captain ANCAP, is he a true believer who is going to actually try? Most of the time, the politicians promise to do the thing, they get elected, they don't do the thing because the thing would be stupid. Is Captain ANCAP here going to do the stupid thing?
I don't know.
Okay. It's
really couldn't tell you.
Right. If do we have any evidence of him doing silly things? Yeah, we do.
Well, there is that cosplay.
He does have some silly tendencies. So it becomes kind of an issue when a silly person is elected and then they promise to do a silly thing. And then you're like, well, you know what? The last guy promised to do that silly thing, but it was all talk.
So is that a proper costume of like some character that I'm unfamiliar with?
No, I think he made it up.
Or is that actually like a Captain ANCAP thing?
That's like his
did
thing.
He make that up?
I think he invented it. I don't know all the details. I've just seen a couple of silly photos.
When he was asked on the campaign trail, he said, look, they won them fair and square, we have to try and diplomacy them back because the Constitution requires us to keep trying, and we obviously would.
Okay, so he's not going all full war, according to Popok, which is interesting. He's not going to go full war. He's just going to try diplomacy because he has to, and then they're not going to go to war with the UK. Okay, well, that's good. This guy isn't as silly as he may seem. So that's nice. Good news.
Costume, though.
It's. I think he invented that. Yeah, I have never seen it anywhere else. I think he just wanted to be Captain ANCAP. That's like the thing that he wanted.
What convention do you think that was at?
That was in somewhere in South America. Yeah. I could do the digging to find out later if we need.
Oh, I have to know.
Okay. I will put my thinking cap on and I will poke around and see if I can't find out exactly where that came from. And I'll send it to you.
Because it's just amazing.
It is very nice. I agree.
I never thought I would see a world leader with cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
But here we go.
Yeah, there it is. And
my next expectation.
The context is very unlike Taiwan. The main similarity is that it's an island starts
Comic-Con
to fall apart after that.
In an All Might outfit.
Oh, okay. Donald Trump at Comic-Con as All Might. I would watch that. I'd laugh at that for a little bit.
It's most similar to the Liancourt Rocks.
The Liancourt Rocks. I don't know what those are. Oh, the island itself. So yeah, the main similarity is that it's an island, starts to fall apart after that. Yeah. So I'm gonna play a quick round of this game. Hit us with any hot takes.
Which is disputed rocks between Korea and Japan.
And if you're watching, if you're paying attention, if you feel any hot takes coming on, toss them into chat, and the Lady Canooch will read them out to us. Thomas, feel free to respond to any of them that you like, or give us your own hot takes.
Well, I know
That are
there's some
completely
people
fucking
who
useless,
are on
but
the right
Japan
in
and
here
Korea regularly have insane
that are
feuds over
probably
them.
not happy with my performance. So if you have criticisms, please
Yeah.
let me
Yeah,
know.
criticism, either one of us. That's good too. Yeah, they're according to Popog, they're worthless islands that aren't of any value. So it's not like they're huge and important and filled with gold, riches, and doubloons and spices from the Orient. No, none of that's there. They're just empty, dead rocks. But they're their rocks, damn it, and they'll have them back, come hell or high water.
You got to be careful for those fucking islands, man.
I know them little rock islands are gonna be the death of us.
Y'all both just sounded like libs to me, P.
Don't look at chat, Thomas. Uh,
I sound like a lib.
I think he's trolling. He's giving a shit. Yeah, I'm
That's
unhappily
probably the
a
first
lib.
time I've been accused of being a lib.
I know, right?
Actually,
It's
ever.
the first time.
I've been called a Nazi before. Never a fucking lib. The fuck?
You've triggered him. See, you're triggered. Now you are a lib.
I'm upset at the moment. Yes. How dare you fucking call me a fucking lib, motherfucker?
Got him.
Got him. Yeah.
You are some of my.
Any fun media takes lately? I was watching Invincible last couple of nights. Almost caught up on that. Very good show. Have you ever seen that one?
Oh, I've been enjoying Invincible, yeah.
Yeah. I'm on like that latest season. I think I'm only like 1 or 2 episodes behind. So.
For example, Daiso is a Japanese convenience chain with a Korean branch called Daiso Korea Daiso. Japan once made a coffee cup with the Leoncourt rocks as a part of Japan on them in Korea pulled. All tea. I mean it, the claims and positions are pretty lib, I just didn't mean it as offense. International disputes are fun.
Yeah, international
Yeah,
disputes are fun.
Yeah, catch me on like a, I don't know, immigration stream or healthcare or literally
Yeah.
anything that's not international politics.
Yeah, I haven't
You
been
might come away with a different impression.
pounding out the hard socialism tonight. Ooh, I've even got more plans for the thing we talked about. I don't want to bring up the entire subject right now because it's already almost the end of stream. But, oh. In a minute. Yeah, go ahead and bring it over. Hang on. My old lady brought me a drink
Nice.
because she's nice. You're going to have to get the bottle opener for that.
How traditional.
I know. You can't twist that off. No, you have to. You lost them. Yes. I used to have a bottle opener on my keys, but then they got lost. Also by her.
But yeah, Argentina is my most fun politics thing because the ruling party before Milei for the last 50 years were Peronists, which are basically a Trump party with zero principles, just populism.
Peronists, I agree, are
I love reading
lunatics.
up on their weirdo shit.
I'm going to run downstairs and find a bottle opener real quick. But I can still hear you and talk to you.
And I'll be here.
Yeah. Carry the stream for about 60 seconds.
Let me try that. Yeah, I got nothing. So. Well, this is it. I was planning on doing like another, or rather, I was thinking we were gonna
Sing
do
for us, Thomas.
another stream of getting some people on and playing like a group game, but oh, I don't know if that would go so well on this mic. I actually can sing though. I will say that I do Maroon 5 pretty good, and I can sing some Backstreet Boys too. I don't know if it would sound so great on this mic though. And also, I'm usually substantially more inebriated before I make the attempt.
Sure, blame it on the mic.
In front of people, at least. Maybe you could get a mic into my car secretly, and you'll be able to catch my.
So
attempts there.
wait. Oh, you're singing in the car? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was saying they gotta sneak a mic into my car and hear me that way.
Is your car where you're the most inebriated? That
Why?
doesn't sound good.
Why are you so inebriated in your car? Yeah, wants to know.
Oh no, it's just damn it! I meant inebriated at karaoke, and also I sing a lot in the car.
And then drinking on the ride home. Yes, I got you.
See,
I got you. I got you.
In the car, I have no audience to be nervous about.
Okay. So yeah, I got a lovely Elysian Space Dust. Delicious. And it's very good.
Nice. What kind of beer is that?
It is a crazy hoppy IPA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the really hoppy ones. I like the hazies.
Oh yeah, I like a hazy too. But yeah, this is a very
Gotta
hoppy
get
one.
that 40 for the way home.
Yeah, if I get really drunk, I'll sing karaoke, but only like 2 or 3 different songs. Friends in Low Places, any idiot can sing that, you know, and everybody knows all the words and everybody sings along anyway. So nobody even hears you sing. If you're scared about doing it, do Friends in Low Places. Trust me. The entire bar knows all the words and they'll all sing it, and so it won't matter. So it's not you alone singing; it's everybody singing together.
Oh yeah, I know a couple people that do the same. They have the same strategy for their songs.
Yeah.
You know how some say death
Like
is only
that one song, "She Fucking Hates Me."
Mhm.
It's true.
That's one that the whole bar will sing
Yeah.
along with you.
I can see that.
If you pick any Bon Jovi song, they'll all sing it.
Well, yeah, everybody will cheer on those. Yeah. And then I turn on my I turn my accent on after a few drinks, and then I sing "Family Tradition" by Hank Jr.
There you go.
Do you know that one?
Nope.
It's Hank Williams Jr. and it's got sing-along parts, you know. So into the microphone, I scream, "Why do you drink?" And then the crowd cheers to get drunk. And
Oh wow,
so
that was my natural response without knowing the words.
It's participatory, and the second time it happens, if you've never heard the song, you'll do it, and everybody loves it. It's super fun. And then I say,
The other fun thing about Argentina is how many of them are literal Nazis, and by literal I mean actual part of the 1945 National Socialist German Workers' Party.
Yeah, good point, Pope Pog. Lots of Nazis down there in Argentina too. But
there was a theory before that Hitler actually lived, and he didn't commit suicide, and he escaped in a submarine to Argentina.
Yeah, that was one of the earlier conspiracy theories that I bumped into as a kid.
Sure, the ones Europe, the US, and NATO didn't want to hire.
Yeah, the dumb ones that didn't go to paperclip. Yeah, I think it was one of the earlier conspiracy theories that I bumped into as a kid, because when I was a teenager, I just loved conspiracy theories. I was all over them. I was on Hotmail communities or something like that, just talking to grown-ass adults about conspiracy theories as like a 14-year-old. It was a horrible, horrible thing to have done, and I'm glad nothing went wrong.
Oh God. Being a 13-year-old and being exposed to flat Earth theories.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Pretty sure that's how one of my coworkers got his start.
Yeah, there was a lot of Planet X and Nibiru. You know that one?
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah. How it's gonna cross by, and then they're all gonna pick us up as slaves.
Well, that's what the alienish one. There's even some of them that are has nothing to do with aliens. It's just that it's a planet that swings by on a really abnormal rotation, or not rotation. What's that thing when it goes around the sun? Revolution, rotation.
Joseph Mengele is probably the most notable German-Argentine transplant.
Oh yeah, you're right, Popog. But it swings by on a really weird path around its sun, and it throws all of our
Assuming
stuff out of
Hitler
alignment.
didn't secretly make it. Orbit.
Orbit, that's the right word, Vladivek. Yeah, it's on a really long, wild orbit, and it swings by every 1,000 years or something like that, and it causes all kinds of chaos on Earth.
Well, I think we've discovered then the cause of global warming. The Nibiru was supposed to pass by like 8 years ago, and if it did, and it threw us off track to get closer to the sun, well, that's why we're warmer. Well, no,
Nibiru's
not carbon.
the wonderful, the lame
emissions.
folks.
It's entirely due to the fact that we're now closer to the sun as a result of Nibiru throwing off our.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And so now we can.
How much spirit science did you watch at Waldo?
Oh, how much spirit science? I watched it a little bit. Is that the one with the what the bleep do we know with the water, and they write the word hate on the water, and then it changes the crystalline structure? Is that spirit science? Is that the one I'm thinking of, Popog? Because I did watch it, but I didn't like it. Even then, I was like, that's not how science works. But I was more the government hiding things, and the CIA did this and that, and George W. Bush is the same as the other person because they both went to Skull and Bones in Harvard and all that shit. That was my area of conspiratorialism. Not quite the spiritual stuff. Oh, but yeah, back in the year like 1998, when I was on the internet for the first time, looking at these things, talking to these grown people about it.
Spirit Science
it
is
was,
a YouTube series about every insane conspiracy you could possibly imagine. And
Okay.
how it's all true.
Oh, and how it's all true. Okay, good. But yeah, the reason for the chemtrails was to block you seeing Planet X and Nibiru up there. So it was coming for you, and it was coming closer to us every year. And on days that we could see it, they ran the chemtrails through the sky so that we wouldn't see it. And it was destined and bound to hit us in the year 2000.
Yeah. Well, have you heard of the most recent one?
What do we got?
So next week we're gonna have a solar eclipse.
Yeah, solar eclipse. That's
and
on
that
like the
solar
8th,
eclipse is on the 8th, and it's gonna.
I grew up in a young
The
Earth
solar eclipse
creationist
path
church
is
where
gonna
missionaries would come
bisect
and give
another solar eclipse
presentations
that happened recently.
about
And at
how
that
they
point
had
of
proof
bisection, they're
dinosaurs
gonna
were still
sacrifice
alive
like
in
100
Africa.
red
They
cows
just needed funding
and
to get
usher
back.
in the apocalypse.
Okay. So we've
Yeah.
got the red cows, which is an old Jewish thing. That's Old Testament Bible shit, if I remember correctly. About
Hot
the
take
red cows.
Nibiru
It
was
really
only
is.
popular
And-
because white people like saying N-words.
It's true, Popog. That's the only N word I'm allowed to say is Nibiru. Vladivek, yeah, he
man.
grew up in a young Earth creationist church. That sounds terrifying. Where missionaries would come and give him presentations about the proof that dinosaurs were alive in Africa, and they just need the funding to get back. Oh, wow. You didn't need to find crazy on the internet. You had it in real life. That's great. I grew up in a Methodist house. Not nearly as crazy. So yeah, what do we got? We got
They're there just sitting in urns for an eternity. And he
so
doesn't get
this is going to be a fun eclipse. Can we live stream it somewhere? It's on the 8th. What day is today? Today's the 3rd.
Well, we can't live stream it because it's gonna destroy all of our electronics.
Come
Haven't you heard?
on. We can live stream until it collapses. That's a Monday. So I probably won't be busy on Monday. I might be able to live stream the whole thing. And do my Alex Jones voice. It'll be a whole thing. So maybe I'll find out what time it is happening. Is it only happening in certain places? Is it got a time zone thing? I'll have to do a whole bunch of research to make sure that I got it. Because if it's on the East Coast and then I watch it later or something like that, does it count? Okay, I'll find out when the world's going to end on Monday the 8th, and we'll watch it.
Ooh, there was one that said that the eclipse was going to happen and it would enshroud the world in darkness,
Uh-huh.
and then the light would never come back.
Never coming back? Okay.
Yeah, the eclipse is
okay.
happening. The sun goes out, and that's it.
And we just never, no more sun. It's done. It's
Yeah,
gone.
no
it's
more
over with. We're out. Is there a reason?
I don't know.
No, that doesn't have to be a reason. You're right.
That's what I heard,
Good call.
though.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a reason. You're right.
Apparently AJ is saying that it's going to be a martial law lockdown drill at the federal, state, and local level.
Yeah, Shinsudo, I think you're onto something there because they're preventing the prisoners from watching the eclipse. That was in the news like yesterday, I think. Is that they're locking down the entire prison, like inside, during the eclipse.
Yes, a martial law lockdown drill at the federal and state and local level, and it turns out it's actually not a drill.
Not a drill.
They're
It's
really
Jade,
putting us.
it's
They're
Jade
really
Helm
locking us
all
down.
over again.
You remember that time? There was like a national emergency alert warning system message
Yeah.
that said that Hawaii had been nuked.
Yeah, I remember that. I was about to move there because I lived there. Right before there's a mosquito in my house. Oh, dang! And I'm dying in the game.
Yeah, you are.
Fucking mosquitoes in real life, dying in a video game. Yeah, it was right before I moved to Hawaii, and I planned to be there. And
Look, I am just gonna give up all my guns to the nice FEMA man and do what he says.
and then that thing happened, and everybody freaked out, and we thought that it was going to be a world war, and then they couldn't fix it because the guy just couldn't remember his password.
At PopOG42 as you should.
Wow, how dare you show me an ad on your stream, Waldo?
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Did you just see an ad? Oh my goodness.
indeed.
That happened. I'm sorry. That's because
The
I'm a
24 Santa
VFIP.
Fe.
Oh yeah? Did you watch it all the way through? Or did you skip
Well, I
it?
mean, the
You
whole
have
stream
to.
is muted. Is there a way to skip? I don't know.
Wow, not having ad block installed
I
at
don't know. I had my
Thomas.
conversation going with you the whole time, so I didn't really need
I
to
see.
do anything.
You didn't need to. Okay, I got you.
I wonder how much our...
What kind of
Well, I
ANCAP
do
doesn't
have ad
have
block
ad block?
installed. What are you talking about?
What'll it be, Hot?
I'm on Brave browser with frickin' Brave Shields up.
He's trying, Popog. Half of my ad blockers don't work, and when they do, half of the websites tell me that I can't get onto it because I have to turn my ad blocker off, so I just turn it off anyway. Skeeters.
Maybe I should go back to
Damn.
uBlock on
We understand that mortals need time to
fuck. What
learn.
was the other browser I used to use? Firefox
Firefox has been crazy slow for me the past couple
or
weeks.
uBlock on Chrome or whatever it is.
It's just been extra slow.
The solution is to get good. I have like 5 layers of ad block and
Okay, you're behind 5 layers of ad block, Popog, but you know what? I'm behind 7 VPNs, so I don't want to hear about it.
When my time comes, life shivers and hides. How can
Yeah, I don't bother. Sounds like a lot of effort. And I don't have a whole lot of effort. As we can all tell.
How does this random banter with a game playing have more viewers than our argument did?
This is way more exciting. And also it shows off my skill. I can argue with political
Didn't you
people.
die already?
Well, that's because I have it on max heat. I have it on max difficulty. And I did die once. I got a bad run. This is a... it kind of depends on which random skills. See the random skills right there? I got some bad ones. Couldn't continue. Or I just made bad choices. Which...
Firefox running uBlock Origin, uMatrix, Nano Defender Pro, and Twitch ad block.
Oh
No,
my
that
Jesus.
is like 4 layers of ad
Yeah,
block.
he's not fucking around, folks.
Solid.
That's the magic sauce.
That's the magic sauce.
Check out Waldo's videos https://www.youtubecom at Waldo Videos.
We've got to figure out a way to get Thomas to hear Canooch, because somebody give me an idea on how to do that. I might call KVP tomorrow, and like make him sit on with me until we figure it out. And then we'll have to call you, Thomas, to have you listen and tell us if you can hear Canooch. Because if you're watching, paying attention, if you're having the lovely lady Canooch read things out to you, Thomas can't hear them. So that's why he talks over them sometimes. Because I am not entirely smart enough to figure it out.
I don't know if I want to hear it.
Well, then you wouldn't talk over it. Is the only reason I would want you to hear it. Is because about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about
virtual
8.
Audio cable.
Yeah, virtual audio cable. Okay, maybe. I'll look that up, Popok. I'm writing it down. Virtual audio cable. Because I might have some time coming up to look into it.
I don't know. I think that TTS thing would annoy the shit out of me if I had to hear it.
bbaudio.com.
bbaudio.com. Well, then you would hear what they're saying, and you wouldn't have to. Because I stop when it comes in, so that everybody can hear what they're typing. But if you don't know that,
or their other product is Voicemeter.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna say?
Both do kind of the same thing.
Keep me from hearing the TTS thing until such time as the TTS requires a monetary contribution to activate it. So I am willing to listen to someone's text-to-speech message if and when they are willing to pay $1 for me to hear it. Until such time, I have no desire to hear, and I do not care if I speak over
so
their
he's
message.
going to speak over. Okay, you hear that, folks? He's going to speak over you until
That's right.
I'm a much more successful
It
streamer.
costs you $1 to get me to shut the fuck up while your text-to-speech is talking.
Well, maybe someday. We're 3 steps away from that. I'd have to get to where I have too many people chatting at the same time, which has never happened. But then I would have to switch it to followers only, you see. That's the next level, is that only the people who could type into TTS
Basically, they make virtual
followers.
audio device that you can then route audio around, and stuff will work for 5 minutes until eventually it stops working and you get frustrated and uninstall everything.
Okay, Popug, that's why I don't have ad blockers either, because I do the exact same thing. Anyway, so then yeah, you do followers only to do TTS. So if you want to do the TTS for free, you have to be a follower.
Also, can't you just share the Canooch window on Discord?
Yeah, but then he would hear it twice, wouldn't he? I don't know. In Discord, I'm gonna try and do a thing like that.
Yeah, so if you shared your screen with me in Discord, I could probably hear the audio from it. But it would have to be the application that you're getting the audio from. So like you can't just share, let's say, your web page with me on Discord. And
Right,
because
I think it's coming through a popped out chat window.
Right, so you'd have to share the popped out chat window with me, and then if I were to tune into that, I would hear the stuff.
Maybe we'll have to figure it out. But then, yeah, the next level above that is subs only.
I'm still not promising to shut up whenever it starts talking over me. I will talk over it.
Okay.
Until such time as, I have a reason to shut up.
I gotcha. I gotcha. I understand.
Got 'em is only chat, not sub only.
I am a filthy capitalist after all.
Yeah, Dom only chat. No subs.
There it is.
Sure. Don't need any filthy
Oh, that
vibes
fucking
in our
brings
chat.
me back.
What,
dude?
Being a Dom?
No, it's so back in the day when I was like 100% on the Trump train, 2015, 2016 time period. You know, the big Donald Trump like supporter group was on Reddit.
Okay.
It was on the Donald.
The Donald. I remember going there, laughing at them.
And
yes.
oh well, I was there sincerely. Fuck you.
I would watch
at
it
me.
and be like, laugh at them. Yeah.
But no, I was there, and man, at one point they actually did that where it was like, this is not a subreddit, this is a Dom Reddit.
It's a Dom Reddit. And
just for whatever reason, that comment just brought me back
and
right back to that.
Yeah, you can never be sure if they're being serious or they're goofing, but somebody there isn't goofing. You know what I mean? Somebody there ain't goofing around.
I thought it was funny as fuck.
Yeah, I
honestly.
think it's funny and a joke and not entirely serious. But somebody there is taking it seriously. All right, this bottle of beer is empty. What are we gonna do?
What shame.
What do we
Sounds
do?
like you need another one.
What do we do? Oh my God! Means we gotta go down and get another one. All right, you gotta carry the stream again for another 60 seconds.
Oh no. Oh no. Chat, say something crazy for me to respond to. Anyways, yeah. I was super big on the Trump train back then. Man. I was there for all of it. Friggin' that was probably
Hot dogs are
realistically
sandwiches.
the point where I got super into politics. Was hot dogs are sandwiches. Ain't gonna address that one. That one's too controversial. I might get canceled. Do you guys think that 2016 was like
Told
a
me to say
major
something crazy.
inflection point for when people started to get really politicized? Like everybody got into politics.
Well, I think a lot of people jumped in at that point. There were a lot of people who were already paying attention since 2008.
Gamergate was the inflection point.
Yeah, Gamergate really did get
Gamergate.
a lot of the people of that generation.
I think Gamergate might have been more of a cultural moment,
Well,
honestly.
that
and what we're seeing as a
them-
result.
I mean, there's no
is
difference
the,
between the Gamergaters and the Donald. Those are the same people.
Oh, I don't think so at all.
Oh, no? Okay.
Well, no, because there were a lot of Gamergaters that fall on both sides of the spectrum. So like you had Gamergaters that were very right wing, but then you also had some that ended up going through like the atheist side of things, and then they moved away from that into more of a liberal perspective. Like who are those guys? The fucking idiots. The serfs.
Okay.
Those guys, I think some of them were Gamergaters before, and they're very liberal. Am I wrong in saying the Amazing Atheist was one?
He has gone through several stages.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a Gamergator at one point. He turned out to be a liberal.
Well, then he went right, and then he went left, and he's been back and
And
forth.
then
He's been
and
all
the
over
same
place.
thing goes for Mundane Matt.
He has
That
gone
guy
through
was
several bananas.
Gamergator.
Popeye says he
And,
went through several bananas, and I think he's right.
I'm sure that Amazing Atheist has enjoyed many bananas in his lifetime. Yes. Yeah, and then Monday Matt destroyed his own career hilariously. I don't know if you ever see a lot.
No, I never did.
Saw that one. No. So he was the guy that like spent a lot of time criticizing other people,
Mhm.
and then got caught on a stream. He had flagged like a whole bunch of people's stuff because he was too sensitive to take the criticism.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, it was incredible.
Oh, I welcome Tony into our streams. Uh, Tony calls me all kinds of names. I think it's fun. Uh,
But then those guys on the stream that exposed that guy, uh, they all fell apart too. Like one of those guys is like full on like life destroyed alcoholic, and he lives in like in a shack in Mexico right now.
mm,
It's fucking crazy.
see, I'm only on my second beer, and we already turned this into an entire drama stream. Way to go. Should we retool the entire politics thing into just drama?
Exposing
I mean, we're
yourself
just
on stream
bullshitting
is a
now.
bad
I
idea.
know, I'm fucking with you. So yeah, there was well, I think the people on the Donald were the Gamergaters, right? I mean, that's the impression that I
Not
got.
necessarily.
Because it was good old, what's that guy's name? The weird, ugly, gross one that was in charge of Gamergate and really got a whole bunch of people on the Trump train. I don't remember his name.
Real ugly, gross guy.
Worked with Trump, then got fired. Was
Alex Jones.
Nah, it wasn't Alex Jones.
Are you
Was it
talking about Steve Bannon?
Steve Bannon? Yeah, that's the guy.
The guy
Ugly,
that
gross
ran
guy.
Breitbart?
Yeah, Steve Bannon. Yeah, he was totally involved with Gamergate.
Huh.
He was, and he might not have invented it, but he saw it happening. And instead of just jumping in or paying attention to it, he tried to convert those people into voting for Donald Trump. He like went there with the complete and total intention of dragging them to the right with the thing that they cared about, which was all the pretty girls are going to be gone from video games. And it's Hillary's fault for some reason.
No.
Yeah, if Hillary got elected, we would never have Genshin. Um,
What?
I'm being silly now, but he went there. He went to the Gamergaters and showed them that they could shitpost and follow a shitposter known as Donald Trump.
This makes no sense to me.
How does that make no sense?
But continue.
How does that make? That is the end. He went there. He went to the
Oh.
places that they were. He told them, "Hey, you should follow Donald Trump," and he convinced them to do so. And he put articles from Breitbart. He would link articles, and he would have his Breitbart people run certain things and put them in places where these Gamergate types would see it, and then drag them right. He's doing what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to drag anybody who's watching this to the left. I am. Sorry, I'm letting you know. But I'm honest about it. He's dishonest about it. Popog, you're going to be further to the left after you watch me long enough. Just letting you know.
I don't know about that. I mean,
To me, the leaders of Gamergate are PSA
watched,
Sitch and Adam S. class is the best class.
a number of lefty streamers because there's not well, everybody that's on the right just gets banned eventually. But I'll say this: I feel like when I was watching them, I was more to the right, and after stopping watching them, I moved my opinions more towards the middle. But I think it's the ridiculousness that I view their opinions as being. Like, a lot of those views that they have are so ridiculous that they make the ones that are reasonable also sound ridiculous.
Okay.
And I find that watching lefty streamers with any consistency actually makes me more right wing.
Because you see the failures of their arguments. Is that similar to the reason I go to are conservative on Reddit. It convinces
Possibly.
me of what they're saying.
Yeah. And I'm sure if I watched Vosh again, I'd find that this guy's a total idiot, and
Cement
I
your
remember once again why I am on the right.
and it would cement your position. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay.
Sitch and Adam, interesting streamers. I could see their appeal, but for whatever reason, I've just never been able to appreciate them. I have seen their streams, but yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, I can't enjoy their content. Although I will say that some of my favorite content on YouTube is EFAP.
Yeah, you mentioned them before. Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
looked them up though. Yeah, I don't. It strange as it might sound, I don't watch that many streamers. uh, I'm I'm too busy, uh, and that's probably why I don't know many of them. But I did poke around and look at a few of them when I thought about starting to do this, and I like looked at their
Interesting, I could
structure.
never get into EFAP.
Yeah, I looked at their structure and I was like, well, I could do that, right? And it seems that I can't, um, or else I'd have more viewers. Uh, but technically, I can kind of do it,
Well,
just not
so
as well.
EFAP specifically did not just start out of nowhere as a stream that was its own stream with nothing behind it.
Right.
Their channels, everybody involved had a YouTube channel that they created and made videos for and whatnot first, and then they all got together and started streaming. So like, um, I was a fan of a couple of those creators before the podcast got started. So, for example, if you ever look up on YouTube, um, the one of the main guys, Mahler,
Hmm.
got his start because he created like a 4 hour long video about all of the things he hated and that was wrong about The Last Jedi.
Oh, that sounds like a terrible time, but okay.
Oh, it was amazing because I remember leaving the theater after seeing The Last Jedi, and uh, for reasons, I was able to see it
Quick
for
interjection and then
less
going
than
back to
$5
listening.
in
Opinion
the
is
theater.
really the lowest form of
Um,
human knowledge. It requires no
I
accountability,
was
no
not mad about
understanding.
the
The
money that I
highest form
spent
of
to
knowledge
go
is
see The Last Jedi. I was
empathy.
mad about the time that I lost in my life having watched it.
Okay.
When I
You-
left the theater, I was fucking pissed. I was
Okay.
like, I just wasted 3 fucking hours
I did not feel that
to
way.
see that. I was fucking furious.
Okay.
And I went home and and of course, what do you do when you either really love or really hate a movie? First thing you do is you look for people that agree with you.
These days, you go to YouTube and find the people who agree with you,
Exactly.
whichever
Well, that's
direction it
exactly what I
is.
did.
Whichever direction
And
it is.
and I found this 4 hour long thing that was like, The Last Jedi sucks and here's all the reasons why, and he just points out every single thing that's wrong about the movie, and I was like, yep, I like this guy. And then he started a podcast. I was like, all right, I'll listen to that too. And yeah, pretty good.
All right. Okay, cool. Well, there's Axel in YouTube chat is suggesting Letterboxd. Is that another one of those type of things?
Letterbox. Are you sure? Wait, where is it saying letterbox?
It's in
Oh,
YouTube
there it
chat,
is.
so it
I
takes
see it.
7 minutes to show up. Axel, I appreciate you here. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. YouTube chat's really slow.
I'm not familiar with letterbox, but I might
That's
look into it.
I think Letterbox Media. That's the I think that's the Angry Video Game Nerd and his friends. Maybe, or I could be entirely wrong. I have been drinking. Uh, I'd love to read Kissing Gonzo's here. He's a regular. Quick interjection, and then going back to listening. Opinion is really the lowest form of human knowledge. I kind of agree with that. It requires no accountability, right? No understanding, right? The highest form of knowledge is empathy. Okay. For it requires us to suspend our egos, live under another man's world, and requires profound purpose, larger than the self kind of understand, larger than the self kind of understanding. Um, from Bill Bullard. I think that's nice. I kind of agree with that.
Opinion is the lowest form of human knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can have an opinion about anything
The highest one is empathy.
because it requires you to comprehend and understand what the other person is going through.
Interesting, because I would actually put the two on the same tier. Like as my snap reaction to that quote.
Okay. That's just like your
It's a
opinion,
strong
man.
argument for conservatives to adopt empathy.
Yeah.
No, he's trying to make you more empathetic. You heard what you had to say about Pakistan. Uh,
Hey, fuck off. I made a mistake. Break.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a meme now. It's happened twice. It's a meme.
Fucking A.
For
I
those
think
that resist
probably
empathy as an effective method,
highest form of knowledge.
I don't know if it's knowledge, but I mean, it would almost require you to go outside yourself, comprehend what they're thinking and feeling, and then leave your body behind to walk a mile in their shoes, which is incredibly difficult. Because the farther they are from your lived experience, the less you know about them, the less you can comprehend it. I can comprehend what it's like to be you because we have so much in common. But I don't know, a sub-Saharan black woman, I have very little understanding of what the hell her regular day is like. So it's very hard for me to walk a mile in her shoes because I don't know anything about it. And to become
Well,
empathetic
sure.
towards her, I would have to learn where she's from, what she does on a daily basis, and what her problems are. And in learning, I would gain knowledge.
So what I'm sort of perplexed about here, I guess, is I would never use the word knowledge for what I think this quote is trying to get at. I might say human intelligence
Okay.
rather than knowledge. And I do think those things are very, very separate. Intelligence and knowledge are 100% distinct from each other.
Okay.
Um,
I could see that being the
Because knowledge is
difficulty.
what you know and you've learned, right? Versus intelligence, which is your capacity for complex thought,
Okay.
right? Where I would say that opinion does not require a great deal of intelligence, right? Even total idiots have opinions, and
Mhm.
those opinions might be 100% wrong. Whereas, yes, having empathy requires a certain level of intelligence to be like, okay, I see where you are, I can understand where you are, and I can understand why you are doing X, Y, Z. But it's not a knowledge question. It's a question of how complex can your own thoughts be to put yourself in a position where you understand where someone else is coming from. So certainly, I'd say I might agree with this quote a lot more if it was about intelligence rather than knowledge.
Okay. And yeah, and I can definitely follow you there. The differences between knowledge and in intelligence and stuff like that is complicated, and then you start getting into definitions and stuff like that, which is what we argue about most of the time, right?
Yeah. I would then have to argue against the idea that adopting empathy is
what is the
the
most
argument
knowledge
that's
you
being
can
made
have in
here
a
because
situation when you're engaging another person?
we have conflicting values, I think. I think as much as I can be empathetic for people
Mhm.
overseas,
Mhm.
I can be much more focused and concerned with problems that are around me and affect my country before I turn an eye over there to
Right,
the stuff
because
happening over there.
because you have the knowledge of what our issues are. You have more knowledge of my circumstances than that of uh, a poor person in sub-Saharan Africa. I would agree with that. Um, Kissing Gonzo says, "What's the most knowledge you can have in a situation where you're engaged in another person?" Um, I don't know. I guess
The
just
most you can have, whatever
the
they tell
most you
you,
can
I
have.
suppose, whatever you
You can
observe and what they tell you.
intuit from them, whatever. I mean, if you're not a part of their culture, it would be very difficult for you to know what they're talking about. If you're not a part of their culture, you wouldn't know what they're saying. Um, if you don't know their language, you wouldn't know what their language. So the empathy is what he's getting at. I think that the more you comprehend them, the more you empathize with them, the more you understand what they're doing and talking about and saying,
Yes.
the more you know about them, and the higher your level of knowledge.
Couldn't your understanding of their situation be entirely wrong? And you can experience empathy for them for what you understand them to have a problem with, but it actually isn't the case.
Sure, but sometimes knowledge is wrong too. You can have bad
Sympathy,
knowledge.
empathy, and compassion applied appropriately.
Yeah, if you had bad knowledge, that would still be if you watched somebody do a thing for a couple hours and then you comprehended and you assumed that they're doing it, I don't know, to make pasta, but they're actually making blankets. Uh, I suppose you could still have bad knowledge, but that's a difficult territory, and we're already 45 minutes past the normal time when we quit this awful mess of a stream. And I've had a couple of beers. And I have to pee soon. The Kissing Gonzo, I appreciate you. Thank you for bringing the philosophy at the last possible
Hello.
minute. A free exec is now here too. Oh
Ready
my
to
god.
bounce? It's been fun. The streams are good. Don't berate yourself, bruh.
Okay, thanks, Kissing Gonzo. I appreciate it. Thanks for bringing all this heavy, complicated
I am also
philosophy
drinking.
in the last 5 minutes. Free exec is here, and he is also drinking. What are you drinking, free exec? What are you having? I had a couple of space dusts. Those are my favorite.
I am currently drinking vodka with Sprite, although I've been very
One whiskey and one beer, and
what's
I
the
am
word?
buzzed.
Not drinking that much.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna call it off at 2 because I've got shit to do tomorrow. But yeah, I enjoys my IPAs, and so free exec has had one whiskey and one beer, and he's buzzed. Okay, perfect. You're doing it right.
Nice.
I do like the vodka though. Yeah, the vodka's good. If I have 10 whiskeys, I'm gonna feel like shit. If I have 10 vodkas, I'm probably fine tomorrow. I don't know why that is.
It's probably because in the morning, so well, actually, that doesn't make any sense. I don't believe you.
No, you don't believe me? No,
No.
it does. It happens. I can drink way more vodka than I can whiskey. Yeah, and
The
feel better
vodka
tomorrow.
is pure. Your liver won't beat you the next
So
day.
the way my brain interpreted that
I'm
was
thinking the same
something
thing.
else.
Okay.
Was that you could have 10 whiskeys, but for some reason my brain interpreted whiskeys as like 10 beers.
Okay.
Not the same thing.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, well, if you have 10 beers, you might wake up in the morning at, 0% blood alcohol content,
Mhm.
right? Whereas if you have 10 vodkas, you might actually wake up in the morning still drunk.
Yeah, you might.
10
And
beers
that's
is
why you
much
feel
sugar.
better. But no.
Yeah. If I have, and we'll bring the numbers down. If I have 5 whiskeys, I'll feel worse tomorrow than if I had 5 vodkas.
Could you be allergic to the stuff that's in the whiskey?
I don't know. Kissing Gonzo is saying what I'm thinking is that the vodka is pure and my liver beats me up the next day for all that horrible, disgusting charcoal that's inside the whiskey. So
Oh, I don't know about that. So, like, for me, I can't
Did you
do,
ever hear of the guy
like
who, when he
golden
ate
rum.
bread, he got drunk?
and the reason is because when I drink rum,
Mhm.
golden rum specifically, the golden rum is actually stored. The reason it's gold and whatnot is because it's stored in wooden barrels, right?
Mhm.
A particular type.
Right.
And it actually turns out that I'm allergic
Oh.
to the trees that are used to store this stuff. And so if I drink like a whole bunch of golden rum, that includes like the Captain Morgan Spiced or the Bacardi Gold and whatnot.
Mm.
Um, I'm actually mildly allergic to
Okay.
that rum.
So yeah, it could
Versus if
be.
I drink vodka, vodka doesn't get stored in those kinds of barrels.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm thinking. Yeah, it's the
yeah,
barrels that's killing me with the whiskey. That could be it. It's part. There's some ingredient within the whiskey that just makes me feel like shit the next day, that isn't in the vodka. So and that is one of my go-tos as well. Like because I'm old and tired, I have vodka and Red Bull to keep me awake and stuff like that. And Free Exec just gifted 2 subscriptions. My God.
Here you go, have a couple of beers on
Whoa.
me.
That's the first time anybody's ever done that, Free Exec. I really appreciate it. We got to see the little song. It was supposed to be Bernie saying, "I've once again asked you for a
Financial
donation,
support.
for
Yeah.
your financial support." That's what it was supposed to say. But anyway, I'll do it then. I am once again asking you for your financial support. That's what it's supposed to say.
NP.
You're the
You
first
got to
person
get
to
that
ever do that
fixed.
for me. I swear to
Excuse me.
God, I got it right.
I sent you that as the
Yes, you
the
did.
thing to do.
You sent that to me, and I put it there, and as it pops up just now, I've realized that it's incorrect. So you are on the leaderboard, Mr. Pre-Exec. You've got gift to take two. Okay, I don't know what to do with it. Like, there's a new little screen on my thing. Gift a subscription. It's not random, so I click the buttons for the peoples.
Oh, I thought it was totally random. Is that not the
No.
case?
No, I have to
So
pick
when
people.
someone gifts subs, you have to pick people to
Maybe. I don't know.
receive them?
I don't know. I don't know what's ever happened. I don't know what to do. um, no. That can't be right. No, I think it just gave 2 people. I'll double check.
Thanks for sub.
It should have just gave it
Oh,
to me.
it gave it to Gamer Jam. It did. It gave it to him.
Okay. Yeah, so
Okay.
it does give it to people. Yeah.
That put a lot of pressure on me.
No. It's automatic. Free Exec,
It's automatic.
you're a G. Thank you, man.
Low.
Super cool guy. I got so scared. I was like, "Oh my God, do I have to like pick 2 people? And if I pick 2 people, which ones do I pick? The ones that are in the chat right now, or the ones that are here often?" And all of a sudden, I had so much anxiety, but it's gone now. I appreciate that. And we're gonna call it a night. We're 50 minutes over our
The
normal
AI will
knockout
do the
time.
thinking for you now.
The AI does the thinking for me now, and I appreciate that. That's why I need the AIs to do all of my thinking for me.
Peace.
Thanks for coming, everybody. If you're here, press the follow button.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Press the thumbs ups and the follows and the subscribes. And I am Waldo, and my friend has been Thomas.
Bye.